Boop, boop, boop. Get my, make sure that I'm online.
There you go.
But, assuming that everything is working fine, and probably going to have to do my intro again another time. Hey, folks, and welcome to more D&D Out of the Abyss with me, Beanie, and my good friends. Well, actually, my good friend Phil isn't here, but everybody else is Mike.
Hi.
Max.
Hi, Muffin.
And Laurie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there was far too much enthusiasm in that. Read the room, dude. Ugh.
Yeah, you know what? That was all the enthusiasm I had for the entire evening. Good night, everyone.
That's fair, that's fair. I apologise now. I'm going to be a sleepy DM again because work is the thing. Why is this not...
I think you should point out exactly why there's grass here. I think people might be
Oh,
wondering
yeah, well, this happened in the last session where the campaign prop on map tools was unfortunately corrupted. That's still a thing, unfortunately. I've been... I'd say too lazy, but I've actually just been too busy to get around to sorting out a new one, so we're going to have to do that.
Why it corrupt?
No way. Again, it happened mid-session. I've got no clue why. Come on, iPad. What are you doing? Why is iPad being
the
shit?
drow.
That's right. Yeah, so if you're wondering why there's grass, we're actually not free on the surface like I was hoping.
No,
we're still
no,
underground.
No, we're full on the surface.
Right. My stream's up and running, so we are actually good to go. Alright, so, last time...
Did you say that?
I said we're full on the surface.
Well, no, we're not, because Phil's not here this week.
So, last time, bad jokes aside, despite all the technical issues, we did have a D&D session. During that session, the party, having previously fought a battle against the drow in the strange crystal cavern, the party pursued the drow combatants through the tunnels and eventually got into another fight against them. A fight that resulted in all but one of the drow being killed off, including the mercenary that had now attached them. That had been the third fight against that guy. However, one of the drow, seemingly the leader of the attack, the one that had organised the hiring of this mercenary, from what they could tell, managed to escape and ran back in the direction that the party had come. However, it was obvious that he was fairly able to escape using his own innate magical abilities, mixed with his own experience of the Underdark. It was fairly easy for him to escape the party, unfortunately for them. Now, since then, 3 sleep cycles have passed. I always want to say 3 days have passed, but you honestly have no clue if any days have passed. You've not seen the sun in a very long time now. During that time, you guys have found it more and more troublesome to sleep at night. You found yourselves racked with various nightmares. For some of you, it is nightmares filled with spiders, bats, and other strange, more fiendish creatures. For others, you simply find yourself, Kamar specifically, you find yourself in the midst of battle against overwhelming waves of enemies, but with every enemy you strike down is replaced by another 2. And in these nightmares, you are overwhelmed by a feeling of futility, as you realise that there is nothing you can do to halt these enemies. In fact, it seems that they only go stronger as you...
Not certain. Not certain that was a dream.
They only grow stronger as you hack them down. These 3 somewhat restless nights have left you not exhausted, but they have left you tired, grouchy, just filling the silence with many contagious yawns on a regular basis. However, you have managed to keep on going. There's been no more sign of the drow. Yes, that is a thing. There's been no more sign of the drow, and with Cobalt's following the instructions, you believe you've managed to remain on the path towards... I was literally reading about this city earlier. How have I forgotten the name already?
Crystal.
Sorry?
Molten Valve? Cracklestone?
Gracklester.
That's the one.
Not
Look it up.
Cracklestone.
The Dwagar capital city.
Want to say things.
However, on the third day, your travels lead you to. During these days, you've traversed various unique landscapes. This is just daily, the daily deal of the Underdark. If you're not going through a suddenly freezing cold ice cavern, you're passing through a field of phosphorescent mushrooms. But on this day, you find yourself simply travelling through a fairly normal cavern, but bumpy rock walls, about 5 foot wide, causing you to go single file. However, the corridor or the tunnel seems to end at a sheer cliff face. The tunnel's roof instead rising into darkness, and seemingly you can see about 50 feet high. You can actually see there is another opening where this tunnel continues, and hanging down from that tunnel there is a rope, a hempen rope, reaching all the way down from the top to the floor where you are, seemingly as if somebody has passed by this sometime previous.
Oh, that's convenient.
It is.
One may consider this as a trap. I consider it as a trap.
Some people may consider it a trap. I climb the rope.
You just immediately go to climb the rope? All right.
Well, I'm going to start looking around the place for any signs other than the rope that someone has been here. As in, someone could have dangled this rope down. If someone's climbed down this rope, there might be footprints, something that's been left, something that's been scarred.
Roll me a investigation check.
I am immediately suspicious of this rope.
19 on my investigation.
Yeah, that's about it. Really suspicious.
So
You just look at it and go,
19.
suspicious.
That is
I don't
suspicious.
trust you, rope.
You can, looking at the rope, or looking at the area, you can tell there doesn't seem to have been recent travel here, and looking at the frayed nature of the rope, it's still strong, but it does look old. It could have been here quite a while, like a few months or so, maybe. It's possible somebody just was travelling through and left it here, unable to get rid of it after likely using it to come down rather than going up.
Now,
But
here's a thought.
there is... Carry on.
Thorn whip. Now, because it pulls something towards you, could I use thorn whip in a sort of lighter fashion to actually tug onto the rope? Not to rip the rope down, but just sort of a weaker usage of my thorn whip to just tug on the rope to see if, tugging on the rope would in fact be the trick, and in fact by tugging on it a little bit, something falls down for the top or it sets something off.
I mean, you could. I was going to say, Anwar is currently climbing. Speaking of which, roll me an athletics check, Matt.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
It's an easy enough thing to climb, but it's basically as long as you don't get in that one. It's
I like the
DC
idea
5.
that you're sort of lining up this thorn whip, okay, I'm gonna pull on this rope. You just climb
I
up.
got
and
one.
pull the rope on. No, you got a 0.
You got 0.
So,
I got a nat one.
as Anwar starts to climb this rope, you basically get on the bottom, you grab it with both hands, ready yourself, and start climbing, but you don't even notice as your hands are just unable to hold your weight and just keep slipping down. The rest of the party can quite clearly see that Anwar hasn't left the floor, but is doing the motion with his hands as if he's climbing. Even his feet are kind of pressing against the wall as if he's walking up. But it is very much just this comical sketch of somebody walking on grease, but instead on this wall.
Testing the rope, I see. Good
Seems-
idea. I shall attempt so. And I
is-
shall try my thorn whip now, seeing as clearly he's not going to be climbing this thing, he's just testing it.
Okay.
It seems like he's broke into some sort of freakish gnomish dance. What manner of madness has gripped this creature?
Roll me an attack roll, Laurie.
Jesus, I wasn't going to attack him. We're just mocking him. Yeah.
This is for the thorn whip. And
Yeah,
that's a hit. Roll the
yeah.
damage.
And you, well,
You're going to snap the rope.
Okay.
And that does indeed. Unfortunately, the thorn whip goes up, and you see it kind of wrap around the top of the rope as you expected. However, it seems that the thorns themselves are damaging enough. This rope is frayed enough that's enough damage to pull it away. And as you do pull the whip away, you can see the rope tear, causing the bottom Renlan's Thron Whip. Do you?
Thron whip.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
yeah, hang on.
I just saw that mid-description. I couldn't help myself. What's the
Thron
range
whip.
on Thorn Whip again? Like how high up did you do it?
30
It
feet,
would have
I
been
think.
low down, so probably about. The rope would still be within reach. I just wanted to pull on it. I
Okay.
wasn't trying to pull the whole
So-
thing down. But...
Oh, so you did just kind of shoot it forward and just above Anwar's head, effectively. So you got rid of
Yeah.
the bottom 5
give it
feet
a
of the
tug.
rope. You've basically
Oh,
made it
God.
harder for the
Underneath it.
small creatures to get to.
That's gonna be quite a
grab the rope.
fall. Ah! I'm just sitting on the ground going, ah! Oh.
Cobalt just
That may be
walks
quite
up
a
and kind of
fall,
picks
that's
you
why
to
I
your
was
feet.
testing it. Seems the rope is quite weak.
Thank you for
Some of
catching
some
me.
of our heavier individuals, such as those in full plate, may not have a good times trying to get up
I
this
wish
thing.
wish I was in full plate. I'm not.
Isn't Cobalt in full plate?
Cobalt
The
is
heaviest
in.
party
I
member
believe
is
Cobalt's in
also
full
wearing the
plate. You might be
heaviest
right
armor.
there. I do not have Cobalt sheet open. I should do that.
I have just the solution. Possibly. I don't think this will work. Never mind.
In that case, we should try it. When does anything we ever do work?
To say.
Well, no, as in, I literally, I was like, oh yeah, I think I spelled a help us, but I don't think it goes up and down. Yeah, it can't cross an elevation change of 10 feet or more, damn it. I have a Tensor's floating disc.
Yeah. I use my divine sense because I forget I have it all the time.
What's that do? That's specific creatures, isn't it? Celestials,
Oh wait, it's line of
fiends,
sight.
undead.
Never mind. It's line of sight. Never mind.
Like,
Yes, there is no celestials between you and this wall. Fantastic.
Cobalt is wearing full plate. Or he's wearing plate. That could be half plate, that could be full plate. I think it's full plate.
I think he's wearing full plate,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I was-
okay.
Well, he's
Right.
made of full plate.
It's basically, yeah.
So, someone throw me.
It's
You
50
really
feet
to
up.
be like
Up,
just be very
Up.
sure on what you're saying
Oh,
here,
I get
Matt.
you.
Okay.
up.
Your
Throw me
weight touched
up.
the dwarf.
Okay.
Up the rope. Throw,
Well, he's not
up.
a dwarf. He's a gnome. So
That's true. Sorry, yeah, so it's fine.
I say, I look around, shrug, and go, all right, and lob him up the rope.
Make an athletics check.
Oh boy, I can actually do this in theory. That's plus.
How much XP do we for level 5, just out of interest?
Give me a second, I can tell you.
Wait, I actually got it written down.
6,500.
Yeah,
What they
65.
said.
Awesome.
23. So I imagine I picked him up like a javelin and just.
Oh, sorry, 23. Yeah. So you basically just kind of grab onto the back of his top, yank him up, and throw him as much as you can. I mean, you're strong, and that was a good roll. So you managed to get him about at his weight. I'd probably say about 10 feet up, meaning that you managed to go about 15 foot off the floor, Anwar, including
Nice.
Kamar's own height. Roll me a dexterity save to see if you grab the rope in all this. Again,
You know,
this is an easy DC because you're
I'm just getting this
expecting it.
image in my head of that
Zero.
clip of Hulk Hogan helping the mime over the invisible wall and just throws him over it.
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to cling onto the rope. Now roll me an athletics check for actually climbing the rope.
17.
Now you
There we
manage it.
go.
This time, you managed to cling onto the rope, and this bit is a lot less greasy and sweaty than the bit down there, which means that you're able to pull yourself, hand over hand, up the wall. Now, it is twice your movement to get up this, so I'm going to need another athletics check for the top half of the rope.
7.
That's fine, that beats 5.
Woo.
You managed to, hand over hand, get to the top. Is anybody else doing anything whilst Anwar is doing this? Are you just watching?
Well, I have a question. Is this the only way to go onwards from
This
here?
is a dead end. This is a dead end sheer cliff face. The tunnel has
Okay.
widened out a little around this area, which has allowed you guys to kind of spread out a bit at the bottom. But yeah, this is the only way onwards. And
Like
this is
seeing-
this is where the instructions you've got also tell you to go. Cobalt
Oh,
assures you.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so would be wanting to go this way anyway. Okay,
Yes.
so seeing him being thrown up, then grabbing onto the rope, that's a significant tug on the rope, and the rope
Yeah.
doesn't seem to break. So upon seeing that, I will then begin to start my climb from the bottom.
Okay, roll me an athletics check then.
So how high off the ground is the rope? It's just a 5 foot.
It's 5 foot. So
18.
medium creatures can reach it, but small creatures need health. All right, need help, not health. So you manage to start climbing up, and by the time Anwar reaches the top, you're about 15 foot off the ground.
How tall is the rope?
The rope is 50 foot.
50, right.
Yeah. So Anwar, you reach the top, and you peer over the top of this ledge, and you start to see a strange luminescence, a red glow, almost like a cold fire. And then there's a flickering, not of the light itself, but of movement, like quick scuttling movement, as a swarm of almost your size beetles, each of them with glowing, fiery black scales,
God, no, these guys are going.
suddenly start rushing towards the ledge that you're currently half up, 50 foot above the below ground.
So,
Initiatives.
I just like label my stream by number, whereas Beanie also puts a little title on. I've just seen what you've called yours. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with my divine nature down here. My character's divine nature. Please no.
I'm assuming we're going to get to that. There was a reason that I was interrogating you in Facebook earlier.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that aside, everybody roll initiatives.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, 6.
Hey,
Give me
you
a second to-
guys are all mostly safe at the moment.
That's true. However, you're also
Nice.
the only one aware of this threat. So beyond, I'll probably say that we'll sort that in a second. I'm just going to roll initiatives and I'll decide what happens here. So Stool rolls a mighty 15. Where's my pencil? Where's my pencil gone?
That's a good point. How are we getting him up there? Does he even have any arms?
Well, I managed to throw this guy up there.
Stool has arms.
He does.
Stool does have arms,
Yeah,
but
I know,
they're
like, you can
beneath
throw
his cap.
Stool, but Stool needs to grab on somehow, right?
I
No,
Stool-
know.
he's
like-
going to have to pull himself up upside down by his legs.
You've never really seen Stool take his arms out from beneath his cap. Like, his cap has always been almost down to his feet.
That's not true. When Phil was controlling him, he did a punch attack once.
He did a slam attack. Oh, sorry, no, he did do a punch attack. I'm still justifying that as him just kind of doing a body slam or a shoulder slam.
Oh, okay, right. That's fine.
As good as Dark Souls, little.
But
stool
yes,
creatures.
when Phil was
Oh,
controlling him,
those
he
things-
attacked.
those
There's a
things
reason
are
I did not
fucking
want to give my
obvious
NPCs
shit.
to you fuckers.
Lay the fuck out.
Alright, Cobalt. He's not here.
Yeah, you give some bad words towards Stool now, and he becomes a big daddy. Just knock you flat out.
You know,
I mean, like-
you
Alright,
say
Renlan,
that.
what'd you get?
You say that we're going to come. We're going to come
6.
across Big Daddy
Come
like an
on,
instant point,
9.
and he
And
is
one,
going to
21.
belt someone.
Alright, so 21, 16, 15, 13. I didn't roll for Turvy. 13.
Oh,
Where's
yeah.
Topsy? I just
Still
realised-
hasn't caught up.
Topsy
with
is-
it, if they're even alive.
Topsy
Don't
and
worry.
what's his face?
Don't worry, I fully have that planned out.
And
And
yes.
you may hate me. Or you
What's
may
the
not,
guy called?
honestly, I don't know.
Oh, is this the drow guy who was in the?
yeah, the
There
drow
was-
guy who had an
Oh,
unhealthy
that's-
obsession with the child.
It's Sarith and Topsy who are
That's it,
currently...
Sarith.
Well, no, it's Sarith and Topsy who said they'd catch up with you and haven't done so far. And it is... what's his
There's the
face?
guy who tried to set me on fire, wasn't it?
Well, Papido as well.
Papido.
Technically, he's missing, but I didn't think you were kind of searching for him. But there's also Jimjar, who just kind of disappeared one day. Like, quite literally, in the
Disappeared.
blink of the eye, he's just suddenly not there.
Disappeared right before a miracle happened.
Basically, well, you don't know that. Nobody knows that, because they're in 2 different positions. Like, completely different locations.
That's a very good point, actually.
Well, then.
I'm not
Anyway.
particularly attached to anyone in this party.
That's fair. Anwar,
particularly,
you are the
but I
first to
imagine you will be
react
later.
as this swarm of fire beetles starts rushing towards you. Seems you have disturbed a nest. I'll make a small map as we're doing this, but feel free to tell me what you're doing because it's going to be fairly.
I look down, catch, and I release my grip.
Oh.
You would have to, wouldn't you?
No, it's that, or a swarm of beetles attacks me.
Okay, so there's going to be a few things happening here. First off, Renlan, roll me a dexterity save.
Okay, this is to see if I can maintain my grip on the rope, isn't it?
This is to just roll it first. I'll explain it once you've.
8?
Okay.
He's thinking DC 5 or DC 10.
Yes, that is exactly my logic here.
The question is, what else was I supposed to do? Because it was that, or I fight a swarm of beetles on myself.
I will say,
Yeah, fight him.
it's justifiable that you got a warning, so you get advantage on this check. You did. Anwar did shout "catch," which makes you look up before you're reacting to the actual threat here. So you would technically have advantage.
Hang on. What's he expecting me to catch? Him?
No. It's more a case of
No.
you know that something's happening before it happens. That in itself gives you advantage on this. Don't think of it as you actually. Never mind. So.
You tried being it. You tried, but it ain't happening.
I was nice. I wouldn't say I tried.
Not that far up so far.
You hear Anwar say "catch." Go, wait, what? Look up, and immediately you're hit. Basically, slams into your face as you look up.
So ask to face.
I'm not going to catch anything from you. Oh god.
Roll me an athletics check. Oh no, a strength saving throw to see if you keep your grip.
You just caught Sverfnebler ass. That's what you did.
Sverfnebler.
You managed to keep your grip.
Sverfnebler.
However, you're basically bent backwards, and a gnome kind of sat on your face, kind of thing, very uncomfortable. If you want, you basically have a choice here, Renlan. You're in a lot of discomfort. You can either hold your position, or you can actively move so that Anwar falls off you.
Or you can.
But what it's worth, actually, after all this, Anwar, you fell 35 feet.
Whose turn is it next, isn't it?
No. This is
initiative.
This is a reaction. This is a reaction to what's happening.
Oh god!
But first off, Anwar, you fell 35 feet. That means that damage.
I just fell 35 feet and landed on his face.
I know, and don't worry, Renlan's also going to take damage from this.
Come on,
Anwar, you take. And this I rolled quite low here, so you're fortunate. But you take 7 points of damage as you basically do the splits on Anwar's face. On Renlan's face. Renlan, you take 3 points of damage as a gnome just suddenly smashes into your face, almost moving your spine in an unnatural position in reaction to this.
Hey, Renlan.
How do you react? You currently can't see anything either with him on you.
Oh, I have,
he's on your face.
My glasses.
Well, I actually have my temporary shield on me still.
Oh, your temporary hit points.
Yeah, from the last combat we did before we slept.
No,
you haven't.
Sleep
it's been 3 sleep cycles.
Oh, in that
you're all at full health. You've all got all spells and stuff, but you've not got anything on you right now, spell wise.
I can fix this.
Well, I currently have your ass in my face, and this actually makes me angry.
Yes, it does.
Ooh.
This combat brought to you by an extremely diseased-looking uterus.
What?
Look.
Just bear in mind that I
What?
might
Okay.
hellish rebuke you right now, seeing as you've literally just landed on my face.
And you've got a guy who's presumably now on fire on your face.
Yeah, this is what I'm
Why is he on fire?
contemplating here. It's is it worth setting him on fire when he's still on my face? Even if it is ass first.
Well, right.
Look down. How far is it down?
You can't see anything. He's on you. You know that you didn't travel up the rope far, but you can't see anything. He's on your face.
Yeah, I should be able to now look downwards.
As I say, he's pushed your back into a very uncomfortable position. You're very limited in what can happen here.
I don't know what it looks like the cat in the hat. But can I just wriggle?
If you wriggle,
whatever it is gets off of my face.
Oh yeah, you can very much do that. That's not even a roll. That's basically the option I was giving you. You can get it off you or keep it on you. In this case, Anwar, you're kind of shifted off Anwar in a very uncomfortable manner. I will say that in this regard, you do get a dexterity saving throw to grab onto the rope nearer the bottom if you want to. to try and avoid the last bit of damage.
I accidentally pull his trousers down.
For what it's worth,
Who
can
says I'm
17.
wearing it?
17? You managed to grab onto
Me.
the rope. Roll me an athletics check just to make sure that you can keep your grip on it upon like grabbing it so suddenly. Yeah,
19.
you're fine.
That's a nat 20. Damn.
You managed to slide down the rope a bit, but then kind of managed to regain that footing quite just out of instinct. So you were basically just below Renlan. Now, so
Sorry, Renlan.
Anwar, you and
What is
Renlan
it
are
drawn
both on the rope.
exactly?
Cat in the hat.
Now,
Is this like side on or something?
no, this is just a bad drawing of the tunnel.
This bit here is much higher up than this bit
Yes,
here.
this is 50 feet high. This is the area you came from. This is the tunnel you came from. This is it widening up, and this is a sheer cliff face. The grey circle is the rope. Could you guys just organise that party? Oh, I didn't put Cobalt in.
Show grid.
Control G will do
View
that.
show grid.
Yeah, I already did. I found that. So yeah, I guess I would be like here because I threw Anwar up the thingy.
You've
Presumably still,
you have
still
had
be
time to
fairly-
step back if you wanted to since then. Like you've had it's been about 12 seconds since you threw Anwar.
Now this rope, is it close against the wall or what? Like how is it attached to the ceiling way up, or is it attached to the floor at the top, or what?
It's attached to something in the chamber. It's like it's bent over the cliff face, so it's hung against the wall. There's parts of the wall where it's not tight. Like this isn't a sheer like flat cliff face. There is bits where it's indented, bits where it's outdented. So it's not always against the wall, but it is for the most part naturally hanging down.
Okay, so someone could actually, if they wanted to, actually undo the rope from where it's tied and no one down at the bottom would even see.
Yes, they could. And at this point, it is the Beatles'
Hungry
turns.
Yep.
Right. Oh, for what it's worth, I've got a nice little picture of the guys as well.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yep.
Oh, look at the little buddy.
They're so nice, right?
No
Now-
Cute and murderous.
14 of them suddenly come over the ledge.
Only 14?
Only 14, don't worry about it.
How many did we
How
find
far
last time?
away are they?
50 feet.
Right now, they're coming over the ledge. They're all going to dash. So they basically surround you at this point.
'Cause they're kind of glowy, aren't they?
They are kind of glowy.
So
See-
the furthest ones away, how far away are they? Like how high up are we
They're
talking?
they're above you. So, well, bear in mind these all come over the cliffside and downwards
Yeah.
towards you.
I want to know where is the top?
The top from you, sorry, is 35 feet.
35 feet. Okay.
Yes, you managed to make about 15 feet of ground. There's another 35 feet before you get to the top. Now I need to put these beetles on the map, so give me 2 seconds. This is going to take a bit.
You might want to do like a secondary sideways thing or something.
That's actually not a bad idea. Although that requires me to actually do shit, so god damn it, Laurie.
Ugh, just the worst.
I know, right? Alright, so give me 2 seconds. Sorry about this, guys.
So I need to know exactly kind of what situation I'm in here. Because I do have a very simple plan of how I'm getting past them all the way to the top. I just don't
50.
really know if that's a good idea or
Is it
not.
jump?
Well, no, I have Misty Step, so I just need to get 5 foot higher, then I can teleport to the top. Job done.
Yeah.
I
that's
just
good.
don't know whereabouts they are, as it were.
We wouldn't know that anyway.
So, for what it's worth, let's see. Renlan, you are 15 foot high, so you are here. Anwar, you are below him, so you are here.
Quick question.
You
How
guys-
tall are these insects?
about as big as you.
Oh,
They're probably just a little bit smaller than Anwar, but they are obviously a bit beefier than him. You're getting that wrong, Laurie. There's a reason I put them there. If you look at where they actually are, like if you were looking at this from the side,
I'm not doing anything right now.
okay.
What
Oh,
are you
who's
talking
that?
about?
Oh, sorry, I thought
It
that
was,
assumed that was
it
you.
was me. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. Alright, now the Beatles. God, this is going to be a pain. Let's see.
interesting. I think this is the first time I've ever done a D&D game sideways.
Yeah, it's the first time I've... So that's 2. For what it's worth, these guys are on top of each other. I'm just putting them side by side there just to make it easier so you know how many there are.
Yeah, because it's 10 foot wide, isn't it?
Yep. 8,
Oh.
9,
Okay,
10,
how
11,
have they managed to...
12.
Oh, they're just
They're,
all around us.
they're full on dashing as well here, for what it's worth. Like these guys
Dashing!
below are next to you guys. Actually... Front to back. Oop, where's he moved? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, and there is another one on the other side of... So there's one that gets down into the side of Kamar, there's one that gets down into the side of Stool. They all dashed this turn, so they're not going to get any attacks in, but they are basically swarming all over you. Actually, they all dash, so
You
these
might
guys...
as well put those on the left.
Hmm?
The ones that have actually made it to the floor, you might as well put them on the little map to the left, rather than on the side.
That's a very good point.
They have to coordinate 2 maps. Hooray!
Oh
So-
no, the difficulty of it. Oh, it's actually pretty easy.
Uh-huh.
Says the person who doesn't have to do it.
I mean, if I knew where they were,
Alright.
I could actually help move.
There we
them.
go. Did it.
All right,
it's
then.
done. Now, the only person that was aware of this combat when it started was Anwar, who's already taken his action, which means that everybody else is basically surprised this round. That means it's back to the top, which means it's Anwar's turn. And then everybody will get to act this round.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but my initiative is a bit shit, and I'm quite sure they managed to beat my initiative, so I'm probably fucked.
My initiative was as bad as yours. Slightly better, I think. Yeah, slightly better.
One could
but pretty
say
much as bad.
3 better.
Okay,
One could, but they shouldn't.
what I'm going to do is...
One could, and one could. Only together.
So,
The
Anwar.
one here,
Mhm.
is that actually below me on the floor?
Yes, it is.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to drop down and land on it.
There is also, for what it's worth, there is one between you and that one. So if you wanted to, you could actually try and aim it so you get both of them. Or you can try and... It'd be hard to get the one on the bottom. You could probably... It'd be easier to get the one between you and it.
I'm fine with trying to make a bug sandwich out of me and a
Okay.
bug and a bug.
In that case, I'm going to say roll an athletics check.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
You should stop rolling this. It's not good.
No, because
They rolled a natural 19. You drop and attempt to fall past one of them. It just holds its grip on the wall, and you just kind of slide off it. As you do so, it kind of reaches backwards and takes a nip at you. Basically, attack opportunity for you moving out of its threatened area.
Yep.
That's a natural 1, though, so it then takes the nip at you, reaches out too far, and instead falls backwards onto its buddy below. So you've now kind of got you've got the beetle sandwich you want, and the top one's just inverted with its legs wiggling in the air.
oh,
You land. You're 10 feet up, so I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw just to see how you land.
21.
That's fine. You take 3 damage, which is half of what I rolled for just landing on the floor, but you do land on your feet. Just
Cool.
your ankles feel sore from it.
And
You are.
then I'm going to cast a spell.
Okay.
I cast, for what good it'll do, probably not much. I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay. You didn't land on them, so you landed there. Oop. Sorry, I'm messing with things. Shield of Faith on yourself.
Yep, so I have +2 AC for the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Alright. In that case, it is now their turns. Alright.
Oh boy.
So, there is another one crawls down to fill the space that has just been left. So there is 5 attacks against Renlan. There is 4 attacks against Anwar.
C16.
One of them's upside down.
One of them is upside down, but it can use its move action to kind of right itself and kind of fall off its buddy, which does admittedly mean it is now on the floor. it'll have to use its move to get over here, basically going through its friend's space to get around you.
Yeah, I'm more surrounded.
So let's do this bit by bit just to make it easier. So 5 attacks against Ren. Whose AC is 13 or is it 16? Right? It's 16. She mage armor. Yeah. Those are 3 misses and 1 hit.
It's not the worst.
You take 2 points of damage as one of them digs into you of its mandibles. I did roll minimum there.
Do I want to reaction this?
Do you want to reaction this?
Oh, do you?
Do you, Laurie? Do you?
Do you really want to?
Nah. I've got 2 spell slots, so I'm not going to just insta-kill one of them.
That's fair.
I've got to insta-kill all of them.
That is also fair.
Don't throw a fireball in the middle of the room.
Why not?
Anwar, there are 4 attacks on you.
Jeez.
That's
Okay.
What's your AC right now? It's +2, so
17.
it's 17. That's 2 misses and 2 misses. They seem to bounce off the magical effect that it's Shield of Faith. The way I've always pictured that is it's kind of an ethereal shield appearing. Are you alright with that being like almost a technological like shield, basically just appearing around you and attempting to ward off things, or have you got an idea for it?
Yeah, sure, we can go with that.
So it's like almost several interlocking gears basically just appear in front of you and kind of get in the way of the creature's attacks.
You know what I'm imagining now? I'm imagining, you know that useless machine where you flick the switch and it flicks it back on? It flicks it back off and it turns itself off. I'm imagining that where every time something goes to attack, this little thing just goes and pokes out of the way.
1 attack on Kamar.
Okay, so because I threw Anwar up, I'm going to say I didn't have my shield out, so AC 16.
That's fair. So that's actually a hit. That 1 attack.
You had your sword out when you threw me, you monster!
I don't put my sword away.
You take 5 points of damage, knocked down to 2 due to your DR.
So 2.
So Renlan took 1.
Wait.
Oh yeah, this is when your thing really shines, when it's lots and lots of little monsters.
Yeah. 1 attack on Stool. That's going to hit.
Of course it does.
For 7 max damage, 7 points of damage on the little guy. Stool doesn't make much noise, but is very much reacting in pain as this creature's mandibles just wrap around and start pincering him together. You can see a greenish sap starting to leak out of him. Turvey gets 2 attacks. Even the one of those that hits, however, doesn't seem to penetrate his skin. And Eldif gets 1 attack. That's going to hit. That was 3 damage. Alright. Beetleborgs are done. Stool lets out a spore, capturing Kamar, Anwar, Turvey, Flynt, and Eldith, and enveloping them all in his telepathic field. As he seems to shriek in pain, and you can hear his sobbing, as well as the empathic feeling of help. Turvey is going to attack one of his, bringing out his little war pick. That's going to miss, however. Pretty sure even their crappy ACs, yeah. That was a 3 or 5 on the dice. But he does a multi-attack. Nope. He still misses the second one. Flynt is going to swing his attack at the...
This is the sort of thing where he shines.
Because he's got AoE or just because he's got an attack?
Fire Green Flame Blade.
Oh. I have to... making me do things.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Bring it around.
Why, what do you have to do?
I have to actually look up his spells and such.
It's not my fault you haven't horribly murdered him yet. Go.
I've tried, but I'm also trying to be not too horrible because Phil kind of needs him to not be at a huge disadvantage. I've left my phone in the room. So,
I forgot. I'm still a monster.
Wow.
My token.
Oh, right, yeah.
Alright, as part of the action...
Now you're a monster with the cross on.
A monster with the cross.
Now you are
Okay.
incapacitated. Slightly deeper red.
So he rolls an attack against one of the beetles. He's going to hit, which means he is going to do... With his war pick, he does 1d8 plus 3, plus an extra d8 against the first one. Actually, plus an extra...
Wow.
5th level. No, he's not 5th level. So that's 11 points of damage to one of the beetles next to Turvey. Number 4. He is killed. The green flame that had enveloped Flint's pick then leaps from that beetle onto the one that was attacking Stool, which is number 13, and damages it but does not kill it.
So this one's damaged.
Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm having to get my browser here. Which one? Sorry, this one is. This one's damaged. This one is killed.
So that's killed.
Mars,
that's
why are you
damaged.
being weird? There we go. There we go.
Cool.
Boo. You're dead. You're down to that. Alright. Next person to attack. Kamar, not an NPC. Kamar, what are you doing?
Hooray! I cast Bane because they've only adopted the dark something. So I'm casting on that one, and that one. So 13, 5, and 11.
Okay, charisma saving throws.
Yep, charisma saving throws, and if they fail it, then they must subtract a d4 from any attack or saving throws they make.
Right. What's your DC?
Oh, I did not look that up. Spell save DC. That was a saving throw. So, but I don't know.
It should be above your spells.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. 12.
Well, even with the -4, one of them actually manages to pass that.
Impressive.
Which ones did you say? You said 13.
13, 5, and 11.
Oh, that one. Alright. We'll say that number 5 is the one that passes. Number 13 and number 11 both fail. So let's put a little reminder on
Do you
there.
mind if I, put like a halo on them or something? Just so I know. Well, great. Now they're the Illuminati.
What the fuck is... I'm just gonna... anything else?
I think... Oh, and
That's your
my
action.
shield up.
Oh, you pretty sure. Alright.
Pull my shield for my item interaction.
Okay.
I think that's all I got.
Eldith is going to... Being within the telepathy of Stool, is going to step past Flynt and Turvey, provoking 2 attacks of opportunities. Only one of which hits. For 7 damage. My dice hate the NPCs.
Are you sure it's not just you that hate the NPCs?
I mean, I'm not doing this because I'm wanting to be mean to Eldith. I'm doing this because I feel like this is what she would do with her personality. She's now going to attack the one that was attacking Stool and attempt to finish it off.
Finish him.
Cocked, unfortunately. That's going to be 2 hits as well. Which basically, with its health that's left, she brings her warhammer up, smashes it into the beetle, causing it to lose its grip on Stool, brings the hammer up again, and smashes it back down, crushing the beetle and like splattering it, almost like you would the more miniature versions of beetles, where you to step on them.
So that one's
dead. Yes.
Cool.
Boop. Cobalt is going to, seeing that Stool is now safe, he's going to step up and attack the only other one that's in range of Stool, just to make sure he doesn't get any funny ideas. That's going to hit. Which one is this? Number 5. That's on low enough health, just at its max hit points, so that not going to go over rolling damage, it's just dead. So that's another one down, as Cobalt finishes his off. Boop. Alright, it is now Renlan. You are surrounded. You're currently climbing on a wall.
Now, can I use my Misty Step to teleport 30 feet directly upwards and still hold onto the rope?
You would have to make a dexterity save when you get out of it to see if you catch the rope. Bearing in mind, it's all right knowing it's there, but actually catching it without like bashing your hands against the wall and basically. Yeah,
I'll give it a go.
Okay. In that case, roll me a dexterity save.
Oh boy. 7.
That's enough. You reach out. You do manage to grip the rope. Now roll me an athletics check to see if you keep your grip.
7.
You're fine. You managed. It was DC 5 for both of them. You managed to suddenly poof out of existence in the dark, basically melding into the shadows and then reforming in the shadows above you, grabbing onto the rope as you do so and holding onto it quite tightly.
And then I'm going to use the rest of my movement to get up. Actually, stand up here.
That'll be an athletics check for climbing then, for your move action.
7!
Today was sponsored by the number 7.
You managed to pull yourself over the top of the cliff.
Alright, and then sort of peeking over the edge, I'm going to... Well, I can still see them, yeah?
You can. For what it's worth, as you get over the edge, you can actually see that this area is very obviously a nest for the creatures. There's a lot of odd bits and bobs that they've pulled together to make themselves more comfy. And there's a fair few bones of creatures that they have likely feasted on previously.
But nothing dangerous as far as I can see.
Beyond, there is also a load of eggs, but they're small and you don't... like. It'd be incredibly unlucky if they were to hatch.
Things on my mind right now.
Yeah.
I'll look over the edge and take a shot at...
You've already used... Oh wait, no, Mistress bonus action, isn't it?
No, as a bonus action.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, 21 with Eldritch Blast.
That's a hit.
And 9 force damage.
Going to assume that it's just this guy?
One of the 2 close ones, take your pick.
That one. Just sits directly below you. You send a green orb down, which smashes against the creature and kills it.
Sweet. I'll take that health, thank you.
It is now... Anwar again.
Right.
I hate talking, I've got headphones in.
Okay, so I don't want to... I'm going to...
Finish a sentence.
Do something really... Yeah. That as well. This probably isn't going to go too well for me on account of it's point blank, but I'm going to pull out my gun and aim it at giant fire beetle number 8. This guy.
Oh my god.
Roll your attack. Disadvantage because you are next to him.
Yup.
Wait, which one are you hitting?
15.
Never mind.
Roll your damage. I'm assuming that you've got a special thing in, like, you have no reason not to use your special attacks on this, do you? I forget, but I'm pretty sure you have no limit to them.
Probably not. I probably don't have a reason not to use them, as far as I'm aware.
Well, saying that, they are noisier, I will say, but... so, are you using a special attack on them, or...?
I'll just... Nah, I don't... If there's any more of those things around here, like, don't want to draw them too soon.
I wasn't luring you into a trap there, by the way. That legitimately wasn't. I was just...
Oh, 7 damage.
I DMR you that
damage?
doesn't lure the players into traps.
I'm a nice guy, Mike. I don't want to kill you all. I like your characters. It's
sure
hard.
You do.
It'd be difficult for me to try and write in other fucking characters. So as the beetle kind of rears up and goes in for another bite on you, you kind of drop to a knee, bring your gun out, and basically blast it, causing it to fly backwards into the wall, making a fly against the window screen of the car kind of mark on the wall before then sliding down.
The idea image in my head of it rears up, sort of shrieks out its mandibles, just shove it into its mandibles, just blow its brains out.
That also. You do both of those things, weirdly.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is impressive. It is now the beetle's turn. Unless you had anything else to do with your bonus action, Matt.
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
So I was thinking, it's like I've got
shit,
some
ammo died.
bonus action. Oh wait, no, I can't use something with a bonus action because I can't cast any spells because I kind of need to keep the concentration going.
All right. So.
Oh, high up there.
One of them follows you up there. One of them comes down here. He's going to go there. And he is going to go there.
Oh, joy! The one replaced him.
Yep. So, an attack against Renlan. This is not working today. That's a 7. That's going to miss. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks against Anwar. One of which is Baned. Again, that's getting a lot of cocked dice tonight. You know what? I'm sorry about the noise, but I'm going to have to roll it on the desk because for some reason the thing I usually actually no. Use this. Bang, bang, bang.
Sean's getting a lot of cocked tonight.
One of them crits you.
Cool.
Ding dong.
It's about more than
That is
apparently
a hit, and then the last one that's Baned misses you.
Okay, so
the crit is 2 points of damage because I rolled terribly.
ouch.
And the other one is 5 points of damage.
How does concentration work again?
How does concentration?
Well,
so you need to roll me a Constitution
really
save for
focus
both
on
of
something.
those.
don't get
damages.
distracted.
What's the DC?
DC 10.
Damn it! Second one knocks me out.
So yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah,
not so much the damage from the attacks, but the rapidity of them straight on you causes you to flinch and unfortunately lose control of the spell, meaning that the gears just disappear from the air.
Causes him to flint.
No,
Because that was his old character.
There's an attack on Kamar and an attack on Cobalt.
Well, I now have my shield out. So.
Cobalt
Great.
is crit.
Great.
And
Crits
that
for everyone.
is 10 points of damage on Cobalt.
Oh,
That was almost max.
I see. Wait, which one attacked Cobalt?
This one here.
Never mind then. Carry on.
It is now Stool, who is going to...
Oh boy, our savior of the day.
He's going to run away from the enemies, provoking an attack from this guy.
Well, he's not very smart then, is he?
He's
no,
he's never shown smartness
full of it.
in combat,
I
and
know.
he's damaged at the moment.
I know.
He's panicking. That's a hit.
He's
damaged,
dead.
man.
So if I roll a 5 or higher on this d6, he is dead. That's a 3. He takes 2 points of damage.
It was so tense. Wait, which one attack of opportunity then? Was it this one?
This guy... Actually, yeah, you're right. That guy also gets an attack of opportunity. Thanks for reminding me.
Damn it, Mike!
It's minus 1d4.
Yeah, he missed anyway. He rolled a natural 5.
Just happy my bane came into effect.
Stool, again, is whimpering in your heads right now in pain. Turvey is going to step up and attack this guy who's Warpick.
Gotta step up, man.
2 attacks.
Step up your game!
Both of which hit. I'm going to just say that's an easy enough kill without rolling damage. On number 2. So the pick lands in the first time, splattering blood around, and then even without even checking to see if it's dead, it just brings the war pick up and brings it straight back down, making even more blood. Flynt is going to step around and attack the one that just managed to wrap its mandibles around Cobalt's already injured hand. Screaming, "Get off me, boy!" as he does so.
Dibbles.
That's going to
For
hit.
dibbling, man.
The green
Yes.
flame again is present as it's not only the pick does damage, but also the flame wraps itself around the creature. And then is it 10 feet or 5 feet?
It's anything within 5 feet.
Alright, in that case there's nothing that it can go on to.
But I don't think it would deal any extra damage to that base creature for now.
What's that? What?
It doesn't deal any bonus damage to the creature of the actual target of its attack until level 5.
Doesn't it? Am I getting that wrong?
Because it deals the charisma damage as damage to another target, but then it starts dealing extra damage to...
Oh, yes, I misread it. Either way, these creatures have literally crap health. They're 1d6 plus 1 health, so it doesn't take much to kill them. You basically just need to hit. Which one is that? That was number 3. Mark him off so I don't forget. There should be 7 left now. 2, 5, 6. I'm missing one, but oh well. So again, Flynt brings his war pick down and splatters the creature. Kamar, your turn.
I make this one. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I make this one go away.
Mm-hmm.
I attack it.
Okay, roll your attack.
Which I believe is +7 to my attack roll.
Yes.
Wouldn't surprise me. Basically just roll 6 or higher. That's fine, that's a hit.
Yep. And I can never remember how much I'm actually rolling for damage on this.
Should say sheet.
Should do.
Pardon me.
That is 1d8 plus 5. Although I feel like we said that was wrong at some point.
It's your strength mod plus a bit for Dawnbringer.
Okay, it's +2 for Dawnbringer, I think.
So plus your strength mod as well.
So strength plus proficiency.
No, not proficiency. That's only on the attack roll.
Yeah, it is. Okay, it's just +5. This is why I keep getting confused. I can't remember if you can add that or not. Anyway, 6 damage.
6 damage. You literally reduce it down to 1. Wait, no, which one's that?
The one with the triangle on here.
No, yeah, you reduce it down to 1 health as you bring Dawnbringer down, carve into it, and it just basically wobbles there. Kind of wobbles to the left, wobbles to the right, and then gets ready for another attack on you.
Great.
Eldith.
Minimum amount of damage I could have done.
Yeah. Eldith is...
So what you're saying is you need to stop sucking so much.
I do.
Oh, she's got a beetle on her.
Where is Eldith?
She had a beetle on her.
Oh, there she is.
Don't know why
okay,
she...
yeah,
I think she must have stepped on it.
Maybe it stepped on her.
She is going to move over to here and attack this beetle. 2 attacks again. Wow, that's 2 crits. That beetle, she brings the warhammer down, catches the beetle underneath to get it into the air. She then brings the warhammer back around and then flings it baseball bat style into the wall.
Cool.
It be dead. Oh, thank you. Which one was that? 12. It had 3 health. She did 2 crits on it. The poor thing. Cobalt is going to step up here.
Step it up.
That's a hit. Which one is it? 7. His minimum damage is going to be enough to kill that. It's only on 4 health. He brings his... Is it Morning Starry or Mace? I forget.
Yes.
Mace. He brings his mace down and splatters the thing against the floor. Ooh. Oop. It is now Renlan. Your turn.
The high and mighty one.
The high one. That's a miss.
Does 11 hit?
It doesn't. It's also, for what it's worth, it's at disadvantage because you're right next to it. It's a ranged attack, so when you're right next to them, it's disadvantage for what it's worth. Either way, that's a miss, so you don't need to roll.
Well then, honestly, I'm kind of surprised.
You basically you're forced a little backwards to dodge one of the creature's feints, and your orb comes
DC
out a little
12, isn't it?
Going over its top. It's what? Sorry.
DC 12.
What, the AC? No, it's higher than that. Only a little bit, but it is higher than that.
Okay.
Anwar, your turn.
Right. I shoot up.
The one above you. Okay, roll your attack. Disadvantage again because he's still within melee of it.
Yep. So this is plus 11.
That's unfortunately a miss. Again, flinching away from its attacks causes you to slightly miss aim, and you pull the trigger just a little bit too early as the bullet ricochets off the wall instead.
Darn.
Beetles. 1 attacks Renlan. That's a 3. That's going to miss. 3 3 of them attack Anwar. That's a crit. That's 7. That's 2 17s, which are all going to hit.
Cool.
Anwar, you take 6 from the crit and a total of 5 from the other ones. So that's 11 damage total.
Cool.
So as more mandibles dig into the little Svirfneblin, he is starting to show quite a bit of blood at this point, showing quite a few nasty wounds.
Why?
I'll be fine.
The other one, the Baned one, is going to attack Kamar.
He gets -1d4 to its attack.
He does, you're correct. So that's 16, which is going to miss either way. So he goes up towards you, but you just manage to kind of kick it and cause it to flinch backwards, ruining its attack.
Yeah, now you said that, I'm just imagining that Kamar's Bane is just, when they go to attack, just kicks them.
Stool is going to cower in his corner. Turvey is going to swing at the one that's
bane of our existence.
That's a miss.
Whoa.
That's a miss. He swings, but the creature that backed away from the boot...
He's displaying his
boot.
arms.
The one that backed away from the boot is just too far back for Turvey to manage to hit. Flynt is going to step up. Get rid of that guy. And attack the Baned one. That is a hit. This time he is within range to have his flame attack affect something. It's going to affect number 6. So let's see. Damage on number 11 is enough to kill it because it was on 1 hit point after Kamar's attack. That one's dead. And then number 6 is on 3 hit points, which I believe Flynt's charisma is at +2. So the flame wraps itself around the one that's attached to the wall, but it just manages to cling to the wall, almost huddling into its shell as it manages to keep its consciousness. Kamar, your turn.
Did you say that this one's dead?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Why is mouse being weird?
So over here on the right, these 3 are all still fine.
Yes.
Are any of them in range of me? Like, is this one in...
That one is in range of you, yes.
Okay.
That's the one that just got injured as well.
Okay, so I'll take 1 step close to the wall, I guess.
Okay.
Although I'm just... Yeah, there you go.
That's fine.
And I attack whichever one is closest. And for what it's worth, I drop concentration on the Bane.
That's fine. It's they're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Okay, roll your attack.
13?
That's a hit. That's exactly their AC. For what it's worth, this guy's on 1 hit point, so unless you really want to roll...
Turbo smite him. Okay.
You bring her up and basically just carve it into pieces, causing its guts to kind of fall out and shower the floor near you. Eldeth can't really get close enough to... She can get up to the wall. She can attack one of the guys that's there. So she's going to swing 2 attacks. That's 1 hit, 1 miss. Number 9. So she doesn't manage to get a kill. She just manages to smack one of them with a warhammer, missing with her previous attack. Cobalt is too far away to do anything. He is actually just going to reach down and heal Anwar.
Awesome.
Swerve will just say it's Cure Light Wounds. That is...
Snap.
+2, so that's 10 points of healing.
I have a question which may throw off the entirety of this combat so far.
What's that?
These things have light sensitivity.
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. Move on.
They are literally glowing.
Yeah,
they'd be sensitive to themselves.
I'm pretty sure these things are giving off light.
Yeah,
fair enough.
They're fairly used to light. They don't even have dark vision due to that fact.
Which makes me wonder how I didn't see them when I was climbing up that rope.
We did see the faint glow.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe they're only glow when they're awake.
I was going to say you didn't see the glow from there because though it's only a faint glow from them and it wouldn't have travelled that far.
That's fair.
Renlan, your turn. You've still got a guy up there, have you?
That's a hit.
Again, disadvantage because he's right next to you. You still hit.
Still hit.
That's
okay,
enough
good.
damage to kill. Where is the one next to you?
You need to get Warcaster, boy.
Oh, you put him there, I see, yeah.
No, I'm not Warcaster.
Number 1.
Needs to get Crossbow Master.
Right, yeah.
That is actually accurate, unfortunately. Anwar, your turn.
Unless you do them in reactions.
There is still... This one is dead, sorry.
There's still 2 near
Yeah.
me.
And this one is injured. Eldif, so
Okay.
that's what the Eldif just hit.
I am going to take my gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to aim it at the one closer to the floor.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot it in its stupid face.
Okay. Roll an attack roll at disadvantage.
And this one is going to be a big bada boom.
Fair enough.
Bada boom.
You're starting to get a little
Bada boom.
annoyed from all the pain they've caused you.
I don't like pain.
That's fair. Nobody does.
14.
14's a hit. Some people do, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Gotta go the right part of the internet for that.
No kink shaming.
9
No life choice change.
9 piercing damage and 2 force damage.
You bring the weapon down and in your anger kind of activate the magic that goes through your gun for the extra effect. And it not only kind of slams into the creature, it kind of pushes you backwards as well, so much so that Flynt has to put his hand out to kind of stop you from moving. But the beetle is very much dead. It is splattered.
Good. I'm calm now.
It is now the final beetle's turn. He's going to have
the
one last attack
final
on his on Eldif because she just attacked it. That's a miss.
How's it hitting Eldith from there?
It's on the wall. Eldif is sorry, she did move. She's over here, but I just moved her on the map.
Right.
Just because it's going to be loads of tokens piled up on that one, so I didn't really bother moving her. Stool cowers. Turvy can't get close. Flynt can't get close. Kamar, what do you want to do?
I make it dead.
All right, roll your attack.
What is dead?
Roll a 6 or higher.
What is
First of
dead
all,
may
we got
never
an attack.
die because it's already dead.
What is dead? Baby, don't dead me. Don't dead me, no dead.
18.
18. That's a hit. And considering it's only got 3 health left, you splatter it.
Yep. I
Again,
can't actually
sinking
not kill it.
Dawnbringer in.
Also 10. Can't. Yeah, I'll keep getting 10
There
damage
we go.
over like just 1 damage.
Alright, so as the final bug falls to the floor, you're all left in a back in the piece, or at least as close to peace as you can get down here in the Underdark. What are you doing?
I go over to Stool and I lay my hands upon him, and then do lay on hands.
Alright.
Can
How
I
much-
tell how much health?
Yeah, you
he
can
has?
tell that he's down 9.
Okay, so I'll heal him for
I'm
9 then.
going to Eldritch Blast one of these eggs.
Alright. For what it's worth, these eggs are about the size of about just bigger than a baseball, so although on the
So I
camera
can
it's
like
hard to tell.
kill a few clusters of them at a time.
Yeah,
I'll also heal
I would say,
myself
yeah.
too while I'm at it.
Why
Yeah,
not
I'll
keep
just
them
do
as
that while these
pets?
guys take their time getting up here, seeing as I don't like these bugs. I don't think we should have any more of them.
Are you just going to keep doing that then? To, like,
Yeah, just
multiple-
something to do.
In that case, I won't make you roll because I'm going for it. So yeah, you just basically flick orb after orb and splatter these eggs. There is a few
Could've
that
been
were
breakfast.
more,
Closer to living than
yes,
others.
that kind of come out more as small
Corpse.
shells almost. And there's others that are just almost like just splattered chicken eggs, although with a darker,
Don't kick the baby.
with a darker reddish purple yolk.
Did you just introduce us to the whole murdering children kind of thing? Because I think we just murdered a load of children.
Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
No, you just got us to murder a load of children, Sean.
I
That's
didn't.
not-
That
that's
was
not
Renlan's
good.
choice.
Moving swiftly on.
Yes. So, what was everybody else doing?
Well,
well,
yeah.
I'm going to try and climb the rope again, and Renlan's murdering children.
For what it's worth, you can't climb the rope on your own, Anwad, because it's 5 feet high. Unless you can make a jump for it, but it'd be an awkward
About
climb.
the wall.
I climb. I ask.
Not get up the wall a little bit before.
I ask. I've mind blanked now. I ask Kamar.
I'm in the middle of
He's
lay on handsing the Stool and myself.
seeing you go and ask that to Kamar. However, Flynt says, "All right, I'm here," and he just kind of picks you up much more carefully than Kamar did. Like hands around the waist, lifts you up above his own head, so that you've got a full grip on the rope. Roll me an athletics check to start climbing.
Oh boy, this can only possibly go well.
Wouldn't that technically be with
Oh, yeah.
advantage? Isn't this technically assisted?
No, the assist is to get him up there. Like, he's not actively pushing him up the thing. Like, he can't assist because he's travelling 25 feet away from him.
9, and then my next roll is 17.
That's fine. You managed to climb all the way to the top. So about 12 seconds later, you managed to skip over the lip of the cliff and find yourself watching as Renlan is just casually flicking his hand and destroying these eggs.
Could have eaten those.
What is everybody else doing?
Well, once I've finished healing Stool, I will tell him to climb on my head, and then I will climb the rope.
That's going to be an interesting hat.
It's not so much that he can sit on your... Actually, no, he could quite happily sit... Yeah, he's quite light as well, so it's not hugely uncomfortable, as you basically pick up Stool and place him on your head. It's a bit of a balancing act, but with Stool's help, he can actively sit there. I will say that you're making your athletics checks at disadvantage due to the awkwardness of it, but it's your athletics checks you're probably going to make.
Much rather have a stool on your head than having Erzworth Nebulin on your face.
I've heard about shit hat style, but you know.
Well, it's
Okay,
a
that was a
mushroom
reach.
cap.
It's better than a hat shit
That
style.
was better than my joke.
Mushroom cap.
So roll your athletics checks, Mike. I'll need 2 of them. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Oh, both
Yeah,
at disadvantage. Both at disadvantage though, so I'll need another
Yeah.
roll at disadvantage.
Oh, I did.
No, I got
No.
twice.
You
Right,
rolled
right.
twice, but you need to roll it both at disadvantage. So just roll again. That's fine.
Yeah, apparently
You
I'm
managed
just
to get
good
to
for
the top
athletics
easy.
today.
You take Stool up to the top, quite easily, hand over hand, barely breaking a sweat. You did much better rope training back in Paladin school. It's fine.
back in
Anwar's already up there. That's all you guys up there. So the NPCs and Cobalt will all attempt to make their routes.
No, I
To
think
save
I've
me
got a way
rolling-
for us to help get Stool over some of these. Well, just to help us get some of the stuff around.
What's that? Sorry.
No, I was saying I've got an idea of how we might be able to. It would have come in quite useful then, but might help us to get some stuff around.
What's
I have
that?
a spell I might be able to use.
Oh.
When I get up to the top, I shout, "You look injured, small creature!" And I grab Anwar and use lay on hands on him for like 9 points.
You can focus another 8 into him to get him to max.
I will do 8 then, so I have 1 left over.
So you're now at max health, Matt.
That was a level 3 that my max health was 27.
Oh, I've
So what's
updated
your
your
max
health.
health
Sorry. What is your new health?
37.
37. Cool.
I
So-
rolled good.
You still lost the
I
same
guess
amount,
I'll-
so you should still be at max after that, right?
Yeah, I'm at 27.
Cool. 30. Wait.
No, I'm at 27.
Then how am I missing? Oh, either way, it's
You
not too
got me down to 9 health at one point.
Huh.
Well, damn.
Yeah, I
So,
thought.
do you need an extra point then?
I
have
should
one
be
going
fine.
spare. I have one going spare.
Should be fine.
Okay. And speaking of being fine, it's a terrible segue, but coffee break, because I really need one.
Yeah, that works. I could use taking my jacket off, so yeah. In that case, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, folks, while we just go use the loo and get coffee. So, BLBs.
I desperately need some. But, yep, right back.
But yeah, I took Tensor's
I'm going live again for what it's worth. But yeah, I always sing at Tom. I always sing. I like singing. Singing good. Although the song that I was singing there was just literally crappy. What's my ring? Hey. Wait for those two to get back, then we can carry on.
If they shall return.
I mean, I did release about a dozen fire beetles into each of their houses. 2 dozen in Mike's, because technically you're there as well, and it just felt, I have to even it out, make sure everybody gets their 12.
Technically, I'm there as well. I am actually there.
Exactly.
I mean, evidence.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's my logic.
And if your stream's running again, this door here, this one, this is the one where Beanie was like, he came round to give me some footage off of his thing. He just leant on this, and it just sort of just bent inwards the direction it's not supposed to go, and it broke. Thank you.
I have a really bad habit of that.
I've just turning people's houses.
Unfortunately, yes. I don't know if I've told you this story, but it was when me, Becky, and Mizzy were originally looking for our house back in second year uni. We were going around a place, and somebody the person showed us around quite odd, and the person who was living there was in this room at the time. It was their bedroom, and the person said, "Yes, this chest of drawers, we should probably get that replaced. It doesn't look like it's, it doesn't look like it's holding together particularly well." And out of just without even thinking, I just kind of pulled the drawer, and it just came apart. It's like, I want to go back. It's like, oh god, damn it. I do these things without even I don't. I did it at home. When I went home for Christmas as well. I went in to turn the shower on. And I must have put some weight on the door or something, because the door just came off. I don't understand how I'm so I'm so accidentally clumsy.
Well, when Mike had Bar around, she did some cooking. When I came back after I visited my parents, I saw the kitchen, and the door was not the door to the kitchen, the door to one of the cupboard doors,
right.
And then the kitchen was just hanging loose like that. And I was like, what happened with that? And they're like, I don't know. So I was like, all right, that's okay. I've got a toolbox in my room, so I'll fix it. And I fixed it. And now I found a screw for that door just on the floor. I was like, wait, but I fixed it. So what was your job? It's just a screw on the floor. It's wait.
Where do you belong?
It was for that door, right? It wasn't for something else. There's not something else in my kitchen that's broken that needed that screw, is there? I hope.
It's going to be like that episode of Scrubs where Carla's running around the hospital saying, "Whose is this pee? Whose is this jar of urine?" Except it's, "Whose is this screw? Where's it go?" Something has a screw loose in this house, and it's not just Laurie or Mike. Sorry, I had to go there.
We good to go?
Is everybody back?
No.
Mike can't hear us right now, so not for him. Whee.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Does that mean that you are ready to go?
Yes.
Sorry, it took a bit longer. I was cooking some chicken while we were playing, so I ate some while I was downstairs.
That's fair. Fair enough.
You discussed me.
Yeah, but that's why I do it.
That's fair.
Specifically to discuss you. It turns me on.
It turns me on.
Understandable.
You're turned on. You're disgusting me.
Anyway, let's carry on then, shall we?
No.
Let's get to the bit that I was looking forward to for this session. So,
I've got to go home. Sorry.
As you reach the top, you carry on down the corridor and carry on your journey, eventually resting for the night. Again, the night does not come easily to you all. It's the nightmares return. There's something very obviously supernatural like this. It's not. If it was one of you, or even 2 or 3 of you, you might be able to assume it's the work of something natural. But this is affecting the whole group. It seems to be something.
So here's the thing with this.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have openly discussed my dreams. However, I imagine being the character that I am, I wouldn't have been very quiet while having vicious nightmares. So
I was going to say, all of you are kind of tossing and turning. All of you are obviously tired when you when you rise in the mornings. It's although you may not have discussed it, it's quite obvious that nobody's particularly sleeping well. And although you could justify that maybe people just aren't sleeping well due to the drow pursuit, due to the situation you're in, it's the times that you because each of you flicks awake every night at multiple points. Like, it's not a straight sleep all the way through the end. And you do see other people tossing and turning, quite obviously not dreaming of anything pleasant. However, this night, Renlan, you do not drift off to sleep, even into the restless one that everybody else is having. As you lay down to go to sleep, you instead feel a pull. Something that you may not want to answer, but know that you have to. It's part of a deal.
Ring, hello.
Part of a deal that you made. And you know that to answer this pull, you probably shouldn't be. You think it'd be awkward to do it within.
If it's from who I think it is, then simply by saying, I don't want to answer this, not only will I then be forced to answer it, but I'll also be in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
So yes, I will answer this.
Are you being sexted in front of us?
Again, you realise that this is not something that you probably want to do in front of in the campground. You might want to make it a little more subtle. You know that it's going to be fairly.
I've actually not fallen asleep yet.
No, you've kind of laid down to go to sleep, but as you've done so, you've started to feel this pull.
Really does sound like you're being texted or sexted.
You've been pulled, or you've pulled that one.
He's pulling. He feels the pulling.
On watch?
Let's see.
Who was on first?
Let's see who was actually. So, Anwar, Cobalt, Kamar, Eldif, and Flynt all take turns watching, so I'll roll a d6. Cobalt gets 2 because he does second half most of the time. That'd be Flynt. Flynt is on watch. He's currently sat on a rock. The area that you've camped out, and you weren't able to find a dead end, so it's actually a junction area almost. Not a junction area, it's a two-way corridor, and you're kind of in a slightly larger, where it's widened out a little to give you a bit more space to group up. But there is a tunnel going off on each side.
Is there anywhere I can go and stand or sit that's blocked off from his line of sight?
You know that you... Unfortunately, and it kind of just...
So I don't want to walk off into the distance, because I'm probably not coming back.
You realise that...
My voice is going even then.
Okay, so to put this into perspective, you know that this pull would take you towards a meeting. A physical meeting, meaning that...
Wait, when you say pull, you mean I actually feel the need to get up and go somewhere?
Yes. Well, the pull itself isn't directing you anywhere, but you do know that...
Psychologically as being pulled away to somewhere.
No. Sorry, it is a physical pull. Well, it's... You know that somebody is trying to contact you. You know that they will find you, but you know that it'll be a physical meeting with something or someone relevant to your patron. And that would be quite hard to explain.
Who is actually close by.
You know that they'll be able to find you quite easily.
So I should go and find them.
You should go and find somewhere that you can meet quietly. They will find you when you get there, you realise. Like, this is how you've done business previously. Normally they're able to just find you, but you realise that they're giving you the opportunity to be subtle about it, should you want to.
How long has Flynt been doing his?
You've literally just laid down to rest, so
I'm sticking with he's being sexted
for about 5-10 minutes, we'll say. He's kind of walking back and forth.
This is basically a demonic booty call right here.
I'll go over to Flynt and I'll just say I'm getting something in my head. I just can't sleep right now. It's probably best that I take over from here. And
don't be alarmed. But there's now two of us.
When your watch is over, I'll call on the next one. You just take a rest.
Roll deception.
Don't be alarmed. There is now two of us hearing voices.
He just rolled a nat 20 on his insight. Roll well.
I don't think I can.
You've got charisma as your main thing, so you should be able to.
21.
That. He has insight of +4. Unfortunately, he just kind of looks at you and says, If you're having trouble sleeping, you should probably keep at it. I think everybody's been struggling the last while. Don't worry, I'll watch and keep us safe.
No.
Kamar
I just need some time. I just need some time to myself when I know that no one else is going to be, talking at me. You know how the group tends to always say all sorts of things when I'm just trying to stay quiet.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not
Humans.
I'm not particularly eager to sleep myself. So, and he's saying this in hushed tones, obviously, because everyone else is sleeping. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep watching this entrance. You keep watching that one. It'll save me and my heavy feet stomping around anyhow. That all right with you?
Very well.
And he nods at you and kind of takes his position on the far side of the camp to where you would be keeping watch. Were you to keep this?
Okay, I'll sit there and keep watch and just stay there for like 5 or 10 minutes. Just make sure that he stays where he stays and I stay where I stay.
Mm-hmm. He stays where he is, kind of looking into the darkness.
Look at me very often.
No, he doesn't seem. Roll perception check.
Funny, yeah, that's something I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Like every now and then, I'll look at him.
You sneak side glances at him quite commonly, and none of the times while you're doing that is he watching you. He seems to be quite comfortably sat on a rock, kind of hand on knee, elbow on other knee, with head resting, chin resting in the hand. He seems to be quite comfortable, just staring into it. As he said before, he seems quite happy just not having to walk around.
Right. The first thing I'm going to do is, very quietly, you won't be able to hear it from this distance, is I'm going to cast Misty Step to get me another 30 feet away, like into the darkness, and then I'm going to attempt to stealth from there on.
I would say roll stealth with advantage.
Don't fuck this up. 15? And by saying don't fuck this up, I mean not fuck the stealth up, not him not fuck up hearing me while trying to walk away.
Oh no, I think it'd be great if you did.
His passive perception is 14, so you managed to seemingly get away without any trouble.
Thank you. I won't go too far away, so I'm going to move somewhere like where they wouldn't hear me or see me, like from the actual camp itself. But I don't want to go off into the middle of nowhere. Like I'll just go somewhere and wait and have the thought in my mind like I'm ready to be met.
Yeah, you can go a few minutes down the corridor and you think that you could basically have a conversation without your voices being able to travel back to the camp. You actually go after a few minutes, you actually find yourself getting a little, like the journey itself has been getting quite warm this day, and as you go on you actually notice why. You see small, about at first maybe a foot wide, little indents in the floor that are filled with magma, I want to say. Lava's underground, magma's above ground, I believe. It's actually no lava because it's underground. And as you go on, and finally reach the point where you think you'd be most comfortably away from the party whilst not being too far away, there is actually a fairly decent-sized pit of lava, maybe 3 feet in diameter, on the far side. And as you stand there, almost as soon as you reach it and kind of give off the thought of you're ready, you see a dark shape, kind of dark bat-like wings kind of flicker open as a creature about the size of a gnome with bat-like wings, sharp pointed ears, and a very similar kind of scaly shell to the fire beetles you fought earlier, blackened with a fiery glow. He kind of drops down to the floor and walks confidently up to you.
Do I just know who this is? Like, is this a creature who's met me before when I've been given tasks by the one I worship?
The last few times you...
Or is he just one of those things like it's his brother or something? I just happen to know that.
Oh yeah, but Bill couldn't make it today. I'm his brother Bill.
Your patron has very rarely taken an interest in you. However, the few times that she has, it has been a different creature of the same race as this, usually with a different styling. Like, always seems to have a different colour shell. That said, the voice and the mannerisms are always exactly the same, making you feel that it is simply the same person or same creature, just changing his appearance.
I think it's time to admit that your patron just isn't that into you.
Well, if you see how many spells I can cast now, I think you should take that back.
Don't know how ironic that is.
So I just know as soon as I see this thing, this is the thing I'm supposed to meet. I just know that.
You know that this is the creature. And as he approaches...
Right, so I don't cast a spell at him, so we're good.
He lets off a signature little snicker that he's done every other time. Kind of folds his arms, taps his toe and says, "You kept me waiting." Not very nice. The lady will know that.
Can't have the others see you.
Very true. That could be awkward. For you, not so much for me. Oh, yes. Why am I here? The mistress...
As soon as he says, "Why am I here?" I just go...
The mistress has a job for you.
I'm going to write this down while you say it, so just go
that's
for
fair.
it.
You know that our mistress likes to know things. She is of course, the wisest of mistresses. She is the cleverest and most intelligent of all masters and mistresses. Yes?
Well, go on. What does she need?
He kind of frowns at you there, as he kind of ignored his question, like prompting you to compliment the mistress. But he does carry on nonetheless, and says, "There is something happening here in your realm." And he kind of looks around with a lot of disgust in his eyes.
Well, there is always something happening here.
Well, more importantly, something is happening with the demons. We want to know... The mistress wants to know what is happening with the demons. And she is generous. She will reward you should you be able to provide her with information on such a thing. If you can discover... If you know of any places that might hold a pull to these creatures...
Sorry, what did you say? Hold a what?
Hold a pull for the creatures. Places where others may misguidedly worship them, or where energies and magics related to them may congregate. If you can find out what any of these demons plan, the mistress would reward you. And most importantly, the mistress wants to know why they're here, and who specifically is responsible. But
very well.
You know
anything the mistress wishes.
Of course, as I'm sure you're aware, that whilst the mistress is generous, should you provide any false information, you will be rightfully punished. Of course. And he kind of grins at you with a very sinister grin.
Oof. Maybe it is a booty call.
Oof.
When you've got information, simply write it in your book, and she will know.
Of course, I've done these sorts of things before. Now, hurry on. After all, the mistress wants this information as fast as can be grabbed.
He kind of frowns at you and says, "You know, it would do you good to show some respect to your betters." And with that, he just kind of turns and kind of starts to trot off. At which point, you start to hear heavy feet behind you. As you then kind of
noting on who that's... Wait, hang on. Do I actually know who that is?
You can look over your shoulder and you can see a dwarven shape making his way up the corridor towards you.
I don't want to turn around. That's the thing.
In that case, you can make a guess. It'd be one of the heavier members of the party.
I'm going to make an educated guess.
Or somebody that you don't know.
I'm going to start taking a piss.
Caught with his
roll deception.
What do you mean roll deception? I'm actually doing this.
That's fair. Roll deception.
Roll deception. You're not actually using a penis. What?
The deception, presumably,
that's no dick.
Is to make it seem like that's what you were doing the whole time. I swear, Governor.
So, as you take your part out to start give you business, You hear the voice behind you. Who are you talking to? I heard voices down here. You shouldn't wander away from camp this far just to take a piss. Are you replying to that?
After I'll give him like a good few seconds ago. Are you still looking at me? Give me some privacy.
You didn't answer me, boy. Sorry, you didn't.
Boy,
you didn't answer me, Elfling.
I don't know
You
which
can
one of
quite
those
clearly
is
see that
more.
you're a boy.
those.
Well, sorry, I actually said it wrong because he wouldn't. The only person he calls boy is Cobalt.
Cobalt is like his son.
Exactly, that's my logic. But he does call
Those
you
who I was talking to are my business and my business alone.
The rest of the party's back there. We're being followed.
Oh, they're not the drow. Nobody likes the drow.
How much
Especially that one
noise?
that followed us.
How much noise are you guys making?
The Flynt is being actively like he's not raising his voice. Like he's being understandable. Like he's not going to outwardly throw this out there. But how are you doing it, Laurie? Sorry.
In this situation, I'm actually doing it as loud as I'm doing it now. Like, I'm not keeping it really quiet, but at the same time, I'm not shouting.
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
just
overly
sort of
loud.
kind of annoyingly being talked at because I'm trying to take a piss. Clearly, can't you see?
They're far enough away that wouldn't wake you.
Okay.
Flynt just says, I understand that. I understand that everybody has their secrets, but down here, we can't afford them. I'm going to be just letting you know. I'll be telling the others that you were seeing somebody out here. If they want to find out who it is, that's up to them. And he turns around and starts walking backward.
Prepare Uranus.
Okay. And then I'm assuming you finish off your business and...
I am going to do my business, seeing as that's one of the things that was on my to-do list of things to do.
Of course.
This is the thing.
In fact,
you're currently to come back and he was like, "Hey, where were you?" It's like, "I'm taking a piss."
This is a very unique opportunity as well. You actually realise as you're able to take a piss into a pool of lava, and it's interesting. It's like steam. It's disgusting and interesting at the same time.
You get a pissy ammonia steam in your face.
Basically,
it's not nice.
Either way, it's going to steam. This corridor is hot with the magma / lava nearby.
Anyway, I'll do my business and I'll get back to where I was before. Finish the first shift when Flynt does, and then whoever the next person is once at that point, I'll go down and get my sleep.
So you get your rest, as does everybody else. Again, you still have the nightmares. You are not exempt from them. So everybody still has a restless night here. Pardon me. The morning comes, and as everybody wakes up and is gathering their breakfast, Flynt kind of gets everybody together and says, just to make everybody aware, and he kind of looks at Renlan and says, I'm not meaning this as a insult to you or your character, but everybody deserves to know that Renlan was talking to somebody during the night. I'm not sure who.
I overreact.
How you react? You react how you want to react.
Imagining like I don't know. We don't have like a bowl of cereal or anything, but I'm like mid mouthful. I'm like, throw that down, spit my food out, and then just charge over and try to grab Renlan by the neck.
Roll an athletics check.
Yeah.
Renlan, if you're resisting, roll
I'm
athletics.
literally just standing there.
Are you not resisting then?
No.
Alright, in that case, you don't need to even roll for this. You just grab him by the neck, actually lifting him a bit, and it makes it quite hard for you to breathe, Renlan.
I pull Dawnbringer out while I'm going over.
Yeah. So left hand on your throat, Dawnbringer in his right hand. It's quite an intimidating thing. Like he's lifted you up to your toes, if you're not resisting.
I don't know why. I didn't think this far ahead.
You grab me by the
Wait,
neck,
it's
and
what? That's all I needed. Just walks off.
Did you just turn into Emperor Palpatine?
Yes, he did.
It's more the fact you're choking my character now, so
Yeah,
it sounds a little bit different.
I say, what are you up to, demon worshipper? Are you a spy?
Yes.
We're all down here for our own reasons. I still have my missions to complete. They're nothing of anyone's concern. They're simply something I've been doing on the side since I got here.
Do you think that's a satisfying answer?
That's even more suspicious.
I think you'll find that my character thinks that's all you need to know. Clearly, that's going to be fine. I'm sitting here thinking, for fuck's sake, how can I make Mike let go of me?
At this point, Turvey pops up and says, "It could have been a drow. That could be why they're following us so well."
Oh, Turvey, stir in the pot all the way.
He is as paranoid as anybody. I'm not doing this to be a dick.
I literally go and spit sound and go, not drow.
It's quite hard.
As anyone else.
Did you just spit on me?
It's quite hard to aim your head while you've got a hand around your
Oh,
throat.
wrong move.
No, I made a point of spitting to the side. If I couldn't spit to the
Well,
side, then...
you couldn't, unfortunately, because he's holding your head. You can't really move your head due to him holding
In that
holding
case,
your throat.
I want to do that. I'll let us go, ugh.
Is it time for the dawn to be brung?
Well, Dawnbringer's
It's been
already
brought, for fuck's sake.
Brung. I know what I said.
Brum.
I don't know.
As
if
an
I'm capable
inventor,
of doing
I'm allowed to invent words, okay? It's
Anyway.
in my description.
Anyway,
That's how language works.
so what is happening? What are you guys doing?
Do you remember like a while back where I got Drow man Sareth?
Yeah.
Saren, whatever his name was. I like slammed him against the wall. Same situation. I'm pretty one note. So what I'll do is I'll try to like pull him off the wall and slam Renlan into the wall a bit, enough to hurt him. And then I say, "Talk now."
Are you resisting this at all, Renlan, or like this is actually going to? You can tell this is actually going to hurt. He's putting force into
this is going to hurt, but no.
What's,
Because otherwise it's me versus the party.
What's
so
your
no.
strength modifier, Mike?
I want to say +3. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, that's
how
right.
much damage
Yeah,
plus
that's
3.
the damage you take, Laurie. You're back to full from your rest, so you're down to 32, assuming you've got 35. So yeah,
I'll go, right.
Is
Now
this
listen, this is the one time I will tell you this. Quite simply, I have enemies down here. My master has enemies down here. These enemies are demons. I was simply sent down here, or near the surface, or the drow dragged me down further, simply to find out about our enemies that are demons, to collect information. I imagine that demons are also your enemy as well. So, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which is why we are getting along. Demons, however, when I find demons down here, I kill them. That's what you've seen me do so far, and I will continue to do so, for they are my enemies, enemies of my master. There, that is all you need to know. I'm
quite eloquent for a
information,
choking man?
and that is it.
Okay.
Sounding more like...
Now let me go.
Considering I don't respect his tone, and I don't respect him anymore, because apparently he's been consorting with demons or something. I think would it be fair?
I've told you that my enemies are demons, so
I think it would be fair to say if you pass a persuasion check or something, then I'll believe you.
Well, it's one of those things. Like I made a point of being careful with my words, so I haven't lied on anything.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You actively told a fair bit of truth,
Absolutely,
some of which might damn you, especially against Kamar. So yeah, it is
so this is what I'm saying. If you can persuade me, it's mostly the last point. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. If you can persuade me otherwise, then
so roll
I
persuasion.
may not stab you.
Roll persuasion check. We'll roll on the dice.
But Kamar, it's the greater
inspiration.
1d4.
1d4.
Yep.
So it's at least 15.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that 15
18
was probably the DC, so that...
No, there you go.
That's
I need to make sure. 18, there you go.
In that case, I dim the light of Dawnbringer because it was on full blast in your face, if I hadn't mentioned that. And then I slowly let go of my grip on your neck, and I take a step back. And then with the hand I was gripping you with, I point directly into your face and say, "You best not betray us." Human? You're human?
half elf.
I'm half elf.
You best not betray us, half-breed. And then I go back off and pick up my food from the floor and start eating it as if it hadn't been on the floor.
There's that saliva. There's a saliva-covered mushroom that's sort of like just popping in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'll be glaring at anyone else.
Eye contact if I can avoid it.
Other people kind of that would have like. It's not so much the glare that is causing people not to keep eye contact with you, but more you can actually see distrust in the party now. Like you can see that there is a paranoia that is now around the group. They're all kind of looking at you with a questioning look.
I idolized you, man, and you threw it in my face!
At least, well, put it this way. Well, for what it seems, that people are like, okay, so his enemies down here are demons, but still, who is he talking to? Is that
pretty much, yeah.
kind of the vibe?
Yes.
Also, just
Like,
because you're persuasive,
you never explained who you were talking to. There is still, and there is always the possibility that what you said was a lie. Like there is,
For
people
reference,
trust Flynt more than you, basically.
The only reason why Kamar is letting this go at all is not because you're another player character. It's because I hate all demons. So if you're allied with half of them against the other half, I can kill that half and then you.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, help killing one half and then kill the help.
I'd also just like to say as well there, damn it, I was hoping that'd be Flint's death scene. I even gave you a nice pool of lava to get rid of the body.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
Anyway, so that has all gone through. That has all happened. Is everybody else doing anything in the morning? Does anyone have anything to say on the matter, or?
Just that he's probably going to look at he's not looking at Renlan in the same light he once did,
okay.
And he's probably be a lot more kind of. I'm going to stay with Flynt for now.
Fairly.
Yep.
Everybody kind of. It's not so much like it doesn't even seem to a purpose that everybody's kind of keeping a distance from Renlan at this point. Like even as you find yourselves traveling during the day, there's a little bit of a split as people kind of almost subconsciously just slow down so that Renlan's walking a little bit further ahead, or speed up so he's walking a little bit further behind, kind of thing. Like it is very much a bit of a.
You've got a secret
drift
awesome club and you're not allowed in.
I am no
longer, no Renlan club. Sorry, carry on.
As we march, I am no longer keeping a lookout of things to ambush us. I'm focused solely on Renlan.
So you're actively walking towards the back of the group so you can watch him, then I'm guessing?
Yes. Well, not so much to the back of the group, but like, if we're making him go first, which I imagine we would be in the situation,
I'm near the front. I'm sort of still carrying on as I normally did. So who is it who has the map normally?
Cobalt. So Cobalt says he'll take up the front with you, and Kamar Kamar takes up behind you. Still, for what it's worth, is a bit more comfortable around Cobalt now, I believe, after some recent events. So he does kind of sit.
Yes.
He stands next to Kamar and behind Cobalt in the typical order.
He's more comfortable, but like trust is only so easily gained.
It is, but he's comfortable enough to be near him. He's not comfortable necessarily enough to be alone with him. Anyway, so yes, that the morning or the travel is much more silent and awkward as you carry on this day.
Awkward.
Now, I actually haven't planned this far ahead because I didn't realize it going this long. I actually thought that these encounters would take a bit longer. I'm not gonna lie.
Basically, one shot most of the Beatles. They only had like.
It wasn't. I actually thought that thing with Laurie would take a bit longer. I'm not complaining. I've got easy things that I can do to fix it. So just give me a sec.
He needs to fix us all being alive. That's what he's saying.
Nope. I just need to carry on the journey towards not Gortle Grim, Gracklestir. I've literally got the page open in front of me.
You will notice back in that previous scene that I did in fact roll to see how Kamar would react.
That's fair.
It was above and below 10.
The thing is, I wouldn't have blamed you if you'd have just gone without rolling it. It's like, as long as you play your characters, I don't care really how you do it, as long as, you know.
No. The difference would have been react and overreact.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming the difference being you spitting out a mushroom and not spitting out a mushroom.
Swallow my food first or not?
As you travel on this day, you come across quite a overgrown corridor. There is fungus of all kinds coating the walls, floor, and roof. It's quite a tightly packed corridor. You find you have to go in single file in it as well. Cobalt taking the lead, with Renlan behind him, Kamar, Stool, Son, however you guys want the party after that. And it's uncomfortable. can't help but feel soggy fungal growths reaching out and kind of brushing against you as you go past. It's a very disturbing and uncomfortable situation you found yourselves in.
Do you mean like literally reaching out and grabbing us?
Not actually, not moving to reach out, but
okay.
They are like, as you're passing by them, it's like
They are protruding from the walls.
Yeah, the corridor is thin enough that you can't dodge, you can't move away fully to dodge them.
Right.
As you move through, however, there are 2 fungal growths specifically that do reach out and grasp at you.
Wonderful.
Let's see. The people at the front are.
I would imagine. Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that I would not let Renlan that far out of my sight. That's for sure.
I was going to say, were you not behind Renlan? I thought.
Yeah. That I didn't set that up.
All right.
I just put people in a line, so feel free to adjust yourself.
I would definitely put myself behind Renlan.
And Stool is definitely behind you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I imagine Flynt would be taking up the rear.
That's what the NPCs will take the order that you guys want.
So I imagine something to the effect of that.
In that case, I'll put Turvy in that. In that case,
didn't you say Cobalt was back here somewhere?
Cobalt it's single file, and Cobalt is taking up the front because he's got the map.
Okay.
So one of these. Wow, I just rolled 2 1s. One of these reaches out and attacks at Cobalt. The other one reaches out and attacks at Kamar. Cheat.
I do have my sword and shield out.
No, they would both attack the first person that reaches them, so they do both attack Cobalt.
I see. They attack Cobalt and Kamar, conveniently missing out Renlan in the middle.
I would have been so suspicious.
I actually had to roll for the number of attacks they had, and I was planning on having them split between Cobalt and Renlan, and then the other one was going to be split between Kamar and Stool. But actually, I think it makes more sense they'd all go for Cobalt, because it's as soon as he gets there that suddenly these mushrooms just reach out, 2 tendrils reaching out of them and grasping against Cobalt. Fortunately, Cobalt is quick enough to bring his shield up, and both the tendrils just kind of bounce off, and that's initiatives. Very awkward initiatives, as you're in a very tightly packed corridor.
Do we have tokens for the enemies, just so we can get an idea of where they are?
I will put them on the map.
Not as good as it was.
I have across every single D&D game, I find it so hard to roll an initiative into the double digits. I can't do it. There we go. Can't fucking do it. I don't know. I can't roll initiative.
2 seconds.
Like any other roll, it's usually okay. That one I can't do. Are these the actual tokens associated for these, or are these placeholder?
So I just need to get my cheat sheets.
I decided to rename one of them just to make it more accurate.
With the thing here,
no longer a violet fungus, it's a violent fungus.
One of the things here, it makes it look like it's going like this. Like, come on, stick them up.
Yeah, stick them up, say.
Hey? Metaphysica.
Queensbury rules, yeah, say.
Isn't Queensbury rules the ones where you can't dodge?
I have no idea. I just know it's the thing people say.
Because there's no boxing style stuff where they literally just take turns taking a hit. And that's boxing.
Just punch each other in the head.
It's more an endurance test rather than.
It was literally boxing was that, and then someone turned up to match and started dodging, and like, holy shit, this is so much better.
Oh my god, I cannot get hit. Damn!
It's like that old Simpsons episode with Mike Tyson in it.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the one where Homer has this layer of fluid around his brain, so he just get hit until they get tired.
Okay, Homer. The tactic is don't dodge, just tire them out.
Yeah.
And
then take one hit.
Yeah, because it's like he'd throw one punch to the
yeah, because he couldn't punch.
I used to have
it
that
also reminds me of
there we go.
That Guy Ritchie movie. Which one is it? It's not Lockstock. Is it Lockstock? No, not Lockstock. The one with the pikeys at the beginning.
Oh
yeah.
Which one?
Snatch.
Snatch. There we go. I know it was
best Guy Ritchie film.
I prefer Lockstock myself, but that's a really good movie.
I've watched Snatch 3 times. Rock and Roller was all right.
I didn't like Rock and Roller, like at all.
Would
I don't know, it felt like it had too much budget, if that makes any sense.
Would anybody be surprised if I was to say that I've seen none of these films you were talking about?
Wouldn't be surprised,
Yes.
but I am ashamed.
Incredibly
really good
disappointed.
Like, well worth a watch.
I don't tend to watch movies.
That's also
I
fair.
don't. Well, beyond a few, I don't tend to enjoy them. They're not.
If you,
Stupid as
yeah,
it
if you
sounds,
like
they're not long
movies-
enough for me.
If you like movies, then those 3 Guy Ritchie movies are Lock, Stock, Snatch, and Layer Cake to a lesser extent.
I feel like Mizzy used to like them.
Is it called layer cake or is it
watching them.
4-layer cake? Because I'm pretty sure the L's are 4.
Layer,
Literally
Yeah, it
just
is,
sent
but
all my
I think it's
paper
pronounced
flying to get rid of
layer
the
cake.
erasings.
layer cake.
All right.
The 4-year cake.
Oh my
The
god, guys,
foyer
it's
cake.
leaked text. Come on.
10,
OMG is least speak, lel.
2 is
1337 texts. That's a lot of texts.
This one.
A whole lot.
3.
It's still the best feeling when you just look down at your phone and you just look at the time. It's like, it's 1337.
20.
You are easily amused.
It's like waking up in the morning and seeing that it's 4:20.
If
Okay,
Uh,
how early?
I was about
how
to,
late
I was
do you
about to
wake
say,
up?
if you wake up that early, I feel sorry for you. But I've lived with you, Matt. I know that you do actively wake up earlier than that.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes still awake at that time.
I sometimes wake up at 4 and I'll be like, oh,
12.
okay.
Even I don't
Is
wake
that
up
Claire?
that late
3.
in the afternoon.
And Renlan, 22.
Oh.
No,
wait,
but
anyway.
4 in the morning.
I do
Well,
wake up sometimes, then I go right back to sleep. So
Surprise, surprise, the first person to react is Renlan with his 22.
very suspicious.
What are you doing, Renlan?
I'll
can
shoot the one on the right, I guess. Now, am I at a disadvantage seeing I'm
Yes,
next
you're in
to it?
melee range, so yes.
How
You
high
see-
up are they?
They're basically
wow.
they're within
14.
Think of them as they're on the walls
think I could
themselves,
be
about the same height up as you guys are
It's
tall.
14 a hit.
14
Oh,
is.
that one in 3 shots. That was a critical miss on the third one, wasn't it?
14
Yeah.
is a hit. Well, these guys have terrible AC.
10 force damage.
Turn 4. Wait. 7 was a critical
I
miss.
actually pressed it
Oh,
3
okay.
times.
Fair enough. 10 force damage to the one on the right. That is number 2. The fungal growth explodes as the green orb shatters against it. These things are surprise creatures, and they did not do their surprise round well. Turvy is not going to do anything. Ellen's not going to do anything. Anwar, what are you doing?
Anwar, well, Anwar can't shoot. I can't shoot at the violet fungus from around, can I?
You can, but they've got half cover against you. Actually, no, this is a tightly packed corridor. I was saying no. People are just in the way. Yeah,
Especially 'cause
it'd
one of
be a
those
really
people in the
awkward
way-
shot.
One of those people in the way is the slab-sided Kamar.
Yeah.
So yeah, not happening.
In that case,
You can't even
No.
really see them for what it's worth.
I do absolutely nothing.
Right.
Good day, sir.
Flynt does
I would
nothing.
like to.
Stool does nothing. Sorry, this is an awkward situation for a combat. Cobalt is going to swing at the other one.
going
That's
to.
a hit. That is
Oh,
4 points of damage.
We slept, didn't we? Sorry. I
Yes,
need
you
to
did.
Refill
Yes.
my sheet.
He slams his mace into the one. It reacts to it. It's obviously pained by it, but it is not killed like the other one. Kamar, your turn. You can see them,
Can
but you
I-
can't reach them.
Can I force my way past
No,
these two?
not
guys
in this
standing
tight
there?
corridor. Like, whilst you would normally be able to travel through ally spaces, in this case, you're not really even getting a full 5 feet square to yourselves. It's
I
very
mean, if he's trying to
tight.
make his way past, I'll try and move aside so he can
you
get past.
couldn't fit. Even both backs against the wall, you couldn't fit.
That's cool.
Barely enough space to swing a sword.
In that case, since I can't move, basically, I will cast Shield of Faith on Cobalt.
Alright, so that gets him an extra +2 as a glowing shield, almost radiating sunlight, just appears in front of Cobalt. The
Job done.
fungus then gets its attacks. It gets 4 attacks this time. Cobalt currently has 24 AC.
Yes, he does.
No, oh, that's a crit actually.
Goddamn.
I was about to say no from pretty much all of them, but no, that's a crit.
Oh, that's right.
That's on the floor. That is 3 misses. However, one of them was a crit. Which means Cobalt is going to take 9 points of necrotic.
Vorpal tentacles, right?
Not Vorpal.
Damage. Oof.
Yes, as these things quite literally suck the energy out of them, you start to see the rocks unnaturally crack and strange lines start appearing down Cobalt's visible.
Oh god,
not
I'm getting
flesh,
into my
but
head like fell green lines travelling across him.
that kind of is what's happening almost. It is now Renlan's turn.
12.
Well, now we get to tell Phil his
that
character's
is a
sucked
hit.
by a mushroom.
Was that at disadvantage yet?
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
14 force damage.
Another orb flicks out, and again the fungus takes it and is just destroyed. It seems that the threat is ended.
Yay!
Cool.
Doing all this myself.
Good fight.
I have no clue where that comes from. I'll find that later.
Okay. So does Cobalt have the thing where he's lowered max health, or?
No, that was just the creatures. That was just the wraiths.
Cool.
So Cobalt kind of shakes him it off, and it does. The cracks don't all reform, but for the most part there is a slight reformation to them as you realise that these aren't natural cracks. Like they're not actual breaks in the skin. It's almost just like a visual effect over him from the actual attack itself.
Can I while I can't obviously move through, can I tell Renlan to just like get to one side and then reach out a hand, and then grab Cobalt's hand and then lay on hands?
You're gonna reach out a hand to grab his hand to lay on hands.
I said hands a lot.
Seeing you do that, although it didn't look like he was going to do it himself originally, he does say, save that for yourself, and he mutters something and casts his own healing on himself.
I mean, mine's free, but okay.
So, yours is once per long rest, so's his.
No, I think mine's short.
Is short rest?
Actually.
Isn't yours area you can choose how many you use?
Yep. Lay on hands, can choose how many you use, and recharges on short rest.
I still feel it'd be within Cobalt's personality to take it to not so much refuse yours, but let you use yours later for yourselves.
I'm just trying to spread the word of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Palo.
He is
Christ.
mostly
Palo
healed.
Christ, yeah.
And with
footballer Pele.
With the threat ended, you're able to carry on your journey. As you do so, the corridors themselves don't get any more comfy. You're travelling for several hours in this long, uncomfortable tunnel. In fact, you drag the day onwards a little, carrying on longer than you'd like to before resting, just for the sake of finding an area that you can rest in without being sleeping on these things.
Squashed.
Yeah, you don't fancy the idea of sleeping on these fungal growths. Yeah. Eventually, however, you do find a place, you rest for the night, and then carry on once more the following morning. As you do so, still somewhat in a somewhat fungal area. It's not as populated as the last day's tunnels travel, but there is a what do I look for? There is still sparsely growing fungal growths quite commonly around the areas you travel through.
I, at no time, take my eyes off of Renlan.
That's fine.
There's not really much else to look at, really, in this time.
I'm very much setting myself up to be ambushed again.
The rest of the group seems to be taking care of looking for things. Cobalt, again, is taking up the front of his instructions. Renlan, either by his side or behind him, so that you're behind him and can keep an eye on him.
Yup. I may, in fact, make a point to make sure he's always in front of me. He's definitely never behind me. God no.
As the day goes on, you carry on, and about 4 or 5 hours into the day, you hear sounds coming from the distance, hurried footsteps, along with heavy breathing. Is anybody doing anything? You can't see anything
behind.
Sorry? In front of you. Seemingly coming towards you from in front.
Oh, are we still in a... Did you say we're still in a tight corridor?
No, at this point you kind of... It's about a 10 to 15 foot wide corridor now, so...
In that case, down on one knee, rifle out, aimed, ready.
Okay.
Position yourselves.
So wait, how wide's the corridor?
It's actually this 10 foot wide corridor that you got in now.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Is this what you guys are...
Oh.
Sorry. I'm just kind of moving things for the sake of putting you 10 foot. Feel free to switch yourselves around.
I would probably be wanting to try to get close to the front, just so I'm not shooting someone. I don't want to shoot...
You can switch with stall if you want.
I would, yeah, I was about to say that. I would very much try to have Renlan in front of me and Stall behind.
Yep, that's fair.
Okay, is there any way for me to be able to shoot from behind Cobalt?
Yeah, you can shoot between... in this corridor, they'd provide cover, but you could still target something in front of them, but they would provide partial cover.
Wait a second. Could I go prone and shoot while prone?
Shoot between our legs.
Now, technically, you get disadvantage on ranged attacks when you're prone.
Damn.
It is with a gun, though. I feel like the assumption is
bear in mind,
a bow or like spells.
Yeah, but bear in mind, these guns are not like the guns we have now. Like, they're much more clunky. They're much more awkward.
I imagine it kind of as like a ye olde blunderbuss. You have to like pack a bullet down and stuff.
I will say that you wouldn't get disadvantage for using your gun prone. However, if combat does ensue to the point where you are shooting a gun, then shooting through Cobalt or Renlan's legs is not going to be any easier than shooting past them, because they're still going to be moving to dodge and weave and such in combat.
That's absolutely fine. I'm just for the opening shot if I need it. That's all I need it for.
All right.
After that, I'm happy to get up and move around.
I'll ready an attack, and if it's something I consider aggressive that comes into line of sight, then I'll shoot it.
Okay. Well, as you all kind of ready yourselves for this perceived threat, a dwarf wearing ragged clothing, no armor, just cloth top, damaged by long wear and tear, cloth trousers, and basically a rope around his waist as a belt, comes rushing into view, looking over his shoulders as he does so. As he turns his head back round to look where he's going, he sees you and stops, his eyes widening. And then, as he recognizes that you might not, as he recognizes you not as his seeming pursuers, his eyes kind of, his mouth kind of moves in a more hopeful manner, as if he's about to start speaking. Then there is a horrible cracking sound as Sorry, I should have got this ready.
Yeah, I also have a quick question. How many days away from Gracklester are we at this point?
According to the notes you've got, you're actually very close, which might explain as a warpick sinks itself into the back of this dwarf's skull, appearing from seemingly thin air, being held by a grey-skinned dwarf, a long white beard, braided down to his chest, long white hair also braided back and tied in a uniformed manner into the back of his armour. He brings the pick back out of the dwarf's skull, who the dwarf just flops to the floor and then just spits on the corpse, looking up at all of you as he does so.
The one that died, was it a dwarf or a dwargar?
Dwarf.
Well, that's mildly less appealing.
Is anybody reacting instantly to this, or are you giving the dwargar a chance to speak?
We don't know either of these. For all we know, the dwarf could have been about to kill us.
Well,
so
that's the thing. We have no understanding of this current situation. Like that guy could have murdered several people before running off. So I don't consider this dwarf a threat right now. So
I've got my gun pointed at him still, just in case. But I'm not going to shoot him yet.
I shout, "You identify yourself," to them. Dwarf, dwarf, whatever.
Well, again, as he did start to speak, so are you actively interrupting him as he's speaking, or?
Yeah.
He
asshole.
He glares at you and says, Identify yourselves, scum. Are you the...
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Are you the group
making the roll?
stealing our slaves?
Oh no, Kamar overreact.
What are you doing?
Well, for one thing, okay, so did he actually finish the line of stealing our slaves?
Yes, whether you want to say that the red mist was taking over you at that point, it's up to you.
Red mist descends. No new information applicable.
I actually like that as a description of Kamar. Just seems so apt.
So he basically said, "No, you," and then said, "We're here. Are you here to steal our slaves or something?"
Are you the one stealing our slaves?
I don't know how to respond to that.
We've just got here. It is not us.
Like we keep no slaves.
He well, actually,
Identify
sorry.
yourself.
I kind of blanked out there. You did actually just speak, didn't you, Matt? That was you saying that out loud.
Yeah, I said we've just arrived here. We've taken no slaves.
And what proof do you have of that?
Ignore the fact that I seem to be threatening the man in front of me.
Sorry, he says that in reply to Anwar and is immediately cut off by what did you say, Mike? I'm missing things here. I'm being dumb.
That's fine. I was just saying, like, he said, what proof do you have of that? And I'm just thinking, right, well, I'm currently standing behind Renlan, looking like I'm prepared to attack him at any moment. This doesn't look particularly good.
You are, but there is about 20 feet between you, and you've got a sword as preparing to attack, so it's not like you're hovering over him, like preparing to swing.
No, it's more like, because he says, prove that you're not taking slaves, and it looks like I'm treating Renlan like a slave. So,
I get what you mean.
No attention to Kamar like at all. I'm just focused on the dwarf. I mean, he called me scum, so I'm trying to think of reasons not to kill him right now.
You know what? I'm doing this. Yep. So,
what proof? Did your reports of slaves being stolen mention anything about this guy? And I point up to Cobalt, the giant guy made of stone, who probably would have been spotted because he's not particularly stealthy if he is releasing slaves.
We don't know who's stealing our goddamn slaves. We haven't. Sorry, I'm trying to think what they'd say.
Yeah, I know, right?
We haven't got any specific reports about who or what people stealing our slaves might look like. We just know that we've had slaves escape, and somebody is escorting them. Now, show me some proof that you're new to this area, or else be prepared to be arrested.
I would never consider living in this area. Disgusting
We have
place.
no interest in slaves.
How can we show proof that we're not from here?
I like how Laurie just emphasized the word slaves. We have no interest in slaves.
It's like slaves. Ugh.
How might we prove that we're not from this area?
Show me some proof. That's up to you. If you've got it, you've got it. You'd know it. If you don't, we'll be dragging you back to Gracklester.
Ah, Gracklester. Now
we're heading towards there, so feel free to take us to Gracklester.
Good.
We've been trying to travel to Gracklester for weeks. It's been a long journey.
He looks at you with a sudden amount of interest. And what business do you have in Gracklester? And he actually steps forwards towards you at this point, quite confidently.
Well, we've been trying to
We're
get
here
away
to
from
free the
drow.
slaves. No, I'm not going to say that.
Sorry, what'd you say, Laurie?
We've been trying to get away from the drow, and we're trying to make our way to the surface. It's a long
Although,
journey,
as-
and Gracklester is one of the points of
Make a
that
persuasion
journey.
check.
As he steps closer, I say, "That's close enough." Dwarf?
Yeah, 7.
Did you wait? Sorry, what did you just say, Mike?
I said, as he took a step forward, I shout, "That's close enough." And I couldn't remember if you said he was a dwarf or a dwegar.
He is Dwegar. Are you
Okay. I say, "That's close enough, dwegar." And
Okay,
say
I was
it
going to say, if you called him a
with
dwarf,
hatred
that would
in
have been
my
instant combat.
Well, no, like I gotta know who I'm racist against.
That's fair, that's fair.
Oh, I thought you were equally racist against everyone.
Oh, also,
I am. Well, I gotta be able to identify.
He speaks the
He
truth. We're
just-
heading towards the surface.
he growls you and says, And why the fuck should we allow you to come into our city, bringing your troubles, your drow conflict there?
We're not bringing any
may as well
troubles.
just bypass the city entirely.
Here?
You just said you were escaping the drow. My experience, the drow don't like people escaping from them. They tend to try and do what I just did just there to our escapee. So if you're escaping from them, likely is that they're following you. Or you killed them, but looking around at you and the state of your group, I kind of doubt that.
Well, we've had drow interrupt us a few times on the way, and we've killed them several times, but they all run away cowardly. So if the drow do in fact come to Gracklester, I have no issues in just killing them.
So what you're saying is you'd start a fight, open on our streets, disrupt the order of our city. Sorry, I just noticed the chat.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
it's one of those things. Is like I'm thinking I need to try and come to some sort of resolution before Kamar explodes.
What I'm thinking is it'd be better right now just to arrest you all, send you straight to the slave pens. That'd be a lot easier for all of us. Maybe then we can get a nice little bounty on you with the drow. Yes, that's a goddamn threat. At which point he swings. He's going to charge towards you. At the same time, Kamar rushes past you. I'm going to say this is an epic sword on warpick.
Yeah, as soon as he draws his sword and starts moving towards you, I cast my spell.
I guess I take a guess that I'm not able to take my shot.
Not as people are rushing. Like there's too much disruption, unfortunately, of your shot. Like it's the same. It's the thing I warned you of, unfortunately, when you took your position. And with that, we're going to actually hold call the session there and carry on next week.
Literally, wait.
He popped.
There's literally one Dwagar.
He popped out of nowhere. Anyway, so hope you folks enjoyed.
Well, hang on. Can we at least put him on the map here?
We'll sort that out next. Because I'll actually make a map and sort out a campaign for next week. So
guessing there'll be a different map next time.
Yeah, it will be. I'll try and get something sorted next week. I'm going to be relaxing all GDQ week, so the least I can do is make a map or two. But anyway, yes, I hope people enjoyed. We'll be back. Despite GDQ being on, I do plan on running next week, assuming that there's enough people. So
yeah, I'm just really hoping there's no good speedruns when I'm supposed to be streaming.
Yeah,
I want to try and watch them.
Actually, that's a very good point. I'm just going to do a quick check, before I end my stream here to say for sure if I'll be on next week. I know. I'm a horrible addict. But actually, I think Friday is the Awful Games block, so I might be busy that evening.
Awful Games are the best.
Yes, they really are, especially Bersekrer. Bersekrer is bloody brilliant.
I have no idea what you just said.
Bersekrer is the one. I believe he's the one that arranges the Awful Games block. He tends to do the best games of them. He's the one that did that cowboy one that I linked to.
Right. The town with no name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of weather we've been having.
That's early. Yes, that one.
That game is a perfect storm of awful.
Next week, during this time, it'd be Umahara Kawasi, no clue what that is. Star Fox 2, not really first. Rockman and Forte, not really first. Dishonored, not really first. And Prey, not really. Although Prey, actually, the fact that they completed 15 minutes, I'm curious. And Duke Nukem 3D, I do want to watch. But we can do at least 2 hours if people are up for that next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
So
we will be on next week.
Talking to my stream and ending my stream, so
that's fine. I was just saying that yes, I'll be available next week to do at least 2 hours, probably 3 hours for a session.
Oh yeah.
So if everybody else is cool, in that case, we'll see you next week, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.